Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Age of Empire of our 8th year in 2024. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of scheduling conflict, so I haven't been able to get the guys together for a recording session to record an intro and an outro. So it's me. So anyway, I'll quickly go in. But basically, we're going to go over your new releases. That covers the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. This is a couple of weeks later because we're just getting schedules. We've got what we've been up to, which pretty much the end of 2023. We've got State of the Union, so what happened in the past month and a bit, and then we have the wonderful Aunt Sally's Get FAQd when we just run through the FAQ. I'm sorry, there's a chair behind me and it seems to be interfering with the background replacement from a graphics card thing. Anyway, let's just get into it because you're bored listening to just me. Okay, so taking a look at the new releases, I'm afraid a lot of this is Imperialis, which, depending on your desire, your wants and desires, may not.
Mr. B, shall we just not condense this and say, yes, Imperialis is out?
Imperialis is out. You've got your big box set that's 120 quid, 100 do at Amazon, and the rest will list on the website. You've got your infantries, your rhinos, Kratos' Thunderhawk, planes, Baneblades, Lightning, Marauders. All this nonsense that we've already had out for a lot of it. We've already had out for Titanicus. There's the road tiles, ruins, bases. I need to get some of the flying bases, but they're out of stock at the minute. There's a nice map that I'm looking at, and I'm like, do I want to buy that? I don't know, 18 quid, but yeah.
Honestly, the whole Imperialis thing, I was really excited for it, and then
the release got dragged out.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was just the
hassle it's going to take you.
The hassle to build the things is just really putting me off. I've got to be honest with you.
Well, so I have the Rhino. I've got. Where's my Rhino? I have my Rhino here. But the Rhino was an absolute piece of just really
small.
Nice,
it is
tiny, but it was really easy to build. The infantry is just a single piece. You don't build anything with the infantry.
Okay. I think it's things like the building a Bane blade, like 40 pieces or whatever. And
the Bane blade. I don't think they've got 40 pieces.
They've got a fair few pieces. I did buy a Marauder bomber squadron the other week.
Lehman Russ has got probably not that many pieces, actually, to be fair.
I still don't understand why they couldn't have just done these in single. I mean, I can understand
resin, yeah, because it would have been expensive. They're not. The Rhinos are absolutely easy as anything to put together.
Even just like two. So here's the thing, right? I recently went to the dark side. Somebody at work bought me a Gundam figure
Gundam
for Christmas, right? Which was amazing. And I was just like, wow, if they can do this with these robots, which don't require any glue, and they just slot together. Super complicated. I mean, the kit took me about a day and a half to put together, right? But they are amazing. Just absolutely incredible pieces of sort of plastic engineering. And I'm like, God, if they can do that, it doesn't seem like a million miles away that Games Workshop could have done a Rhino in 2 bits and just glued them together.
The Legion Imperialis, all the infantry is one piece. There's no. I think. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, well, how much infantry do you think I'm going to get, Mr. B? I mean,
the rocket launcher guys have got 2 pieces, and the dreadnoughts are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces.
Okay, it's only
like 2 pieces, couldn't it?
Yeah,
legs,
it just goes legs,
hips,
top or half and half.
Yeah,
it just. I mean, I don't know. It's putting me off. Let me put it that way.
I haven't bought a single bit of it. I've read. I've got the rule book. It's PDF. I don't know. I thought as soon as it came out, at the start I was kind of like, I'm going to wait. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I'm going to see some of this stuff, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
The wheels will be off, and there'll be a load more plastic crap to assemble. But it's kind of quietly passing me by.
That's the same.
With,
The
I
only
have
reason it's
no
partly
draw
buy
to me
is just
whatsoever.
I can't get it.
I-
That's stock pretty much everywhere.
Until
it
I
just
see
doesn't-
the Lehman Russes come out, at that point maybe things will change, because an army of small Lehman Russes is
Yep.
the only thing that massively really appeals to me about it.
I mean, worst comes to worst, you could use your Titans, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not.
That's a type.
I've got a Thunderhawk. I've got some other. I've got a couple of other planes that I bought for other purposes.
Got it.
So it's not like I haven't got stuff that I couldn't use in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to spend 30 quid's worth of money on super small people when I.
Anyway, moving on to non-Imperialist stuff. We had some Adeptus Mechanicus dice, 18 quid for 18 dice. It's a pound of dice. It's not that good, really. I don't even actually know. It's 16 dice. That's terrible, actually. Never mind.
Wow, that is awful, isn't it?
It's
And they're not
terrible
particularly
price.
great dice.
Dice-onomic.
Red dice.
They're fine, but it's a bad price. We had 3 short.
I mean, to be fair, with those dice, at least you can read them.
Yeah, they're not bad, but
Yeah.
I like the design. I just don't want to pay 18 quid for 16 dice. I think it's ridiculous.
That is mad.
We had 3 short stories published over Christmas. Visage, which was a Corferon story by Rich McCormick. This was his debut in the Heresy. I think actually all of 2 of them were debuts, which was an Erebus story. So that was that's its thing. Then we had The Nine by our friend Justin Hill, and that was a background story for Sota Null, a character who we've seen quite a bit in the Siege, but not really had any background on it. So that was an interesting story. And finally, we had The Last Loyalist, an Istvan free story about the last World Eater who was loyal. And that is that's an interesting little read. That's by David Geimer. It's not bad, actually. It's just sort of like he's got the nails and he's like, but he's sent down there and he's like, well, I want to kill me allies, but I also want to kill that lot too.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
The big one, the one that we were waiting for a long time, the Legion Mark 6 Assault Squad. £42.50 for 10 Assault Marines. With your
caused some controversy, didn't it?
I think the price is a little high. It's better from Element Games, £36.12. It's more palatable, I think.
How much is, because I mean they'll come in boxes of 20 now, don't they?
No, 10.
No, the normal. Like if you bought Mark 3,
more Marines are coming in 20 in boxes of 20. Yeah,
and they're like 40. Are they 40 quid for 20?
Something like that. Yeah, it's 45 quid for 20. Yeah.
Let me just remind you: Google search Custodes Guardian Squad and see how much that is for 5.
They're like 35 quid or something.
It is.
I mean,
so yeah.
I mean,
that's it. To new listeners of the show, I will find anything I can, because I feel like people missed. If you haven't listened to the early days, and you may not have done, the Men in Gold are my favourite army in this game, and I will find anything and any excuse to bring them up in the way that we as Custodes players have been shortchanged and generally hard done by the creators of this game. And all of my reasonings are perfectly justifiable, as everyone will attest to. £37.50 for 5 models.
Mr. B and I got our butts handed to us by flipping. Actually, you know what? Funny story. I had in my hand. Yeah, I had in my hand the Marauders for Legion Imperialis or Custodes, and I was like, yeah. So I nearly bought some Custodes. I did say I would do them at one point in time. So I was thinking, it was just Space Wolves that I would never ever do. That was the line that I would not cross.
That's the line you cannot. So we can get 5 normal guys for £37.50, or we can get 3 of the Alarus Terminators for £35. 3 models for £35.
But I mean the kit's nice. The jump packs look great. The
beakies, I just don't like beaky Marines.
I'm right.
Yeah.
I think these would look okay with
available.
These would look okay with Sons of Horus heads. They'd look all right, I think.
You can still get the Mark IV assault squads, the Mark V assault
Can you?
squads. Yeah, but they're like
What, from-
£45 for 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Warhammer sell them. They're £45 for 5.
My thing with them, with all the beakies, is they're just too clean. I like the detail. I like seeing the rivets and all the
And you want the Mark V squad, my
fluted
friend.
edges of Mark II and Mark III.
Mark
that
III.
sort of-
Yeah.
Mark V is great,
know.
but Mark III wouldn't have suited assault marines.
Wow.
But Mark
I can
V,
see.
Mark V looks.
They must have
really,
had Mark III assault marine, one assumes.
I mean,
No,
Templar
no.
Brethren are in
Mark II, didn't they?
Mark
Mark
II or Mark
III.
III armor,
Mark
and they're
III.
just assault marines without jump back. So
Yeah.
you know, not out of place. But
Yeah, but I
unless
really
these
like.
guys are painted black in some variety, then
Yeah.
I'm not.
I really
fussed.
like the Mark V assault squad. I think it's fantastic.
That's they've got the similar sort of shoulder pads, haven't they? Got those.
They got
shoulder-
They got lots of rivets. They got lots of
Yeah.
rivets.
Yeah.
So they're quite nice. I'll
Because
send
wasn't
picture.
Mark V like a kit bashed armor mark?
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But I sent a picture. I sent the link to because they still sell £45 for 5. which is
Okay.
I mean,
worse.
90 quid. What I was going to say.
Yeah.
The combat shields in there as well, aren't they?
That
They
again,
are.
all the new kids new to the game. That's what we used to do, people. That's what we used to do.
That's what
It is.
all
Squad
Squad
about.
of 15.
Yeah.
You're laying down 3 digits.
Ollie Mark, what was it? Yeah, oligarch money.
Oligarch money.
It was.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Unless you're Australian, in which case it was cheaper at one point to get heresy models than it was to get plastic
Old.
stuff.
I
Okay,
might try that at work actually.
Next up, we've got Citadel Color Brimstone Firegrass Tufts, and I think these look pants. Red.
I mean, you
grass.
don't want those in your pants, do you? Because I mean, that's going
I
to
think
raise some serious questions.
I think they look. I don't like them. They look horrible. They look flat. There's no.
They are what they say on the tin. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
are firegrass tufts. All you would need to do is airbrush a bit of orange over the top, just on the very across the tops
suppose.
at an angle, and you'd give them a bit more depth to it.
I think Army Painter do better tufts.
I've never used tufts, to be fair.
Tuft.
Yeah.
I've used tuft.
I've used a few. Okay, the next
I
one.
put them on my chest when I'm going out
If you're
under
going
my
out.
medallion.
That would look good,
Yeah.
actually, wouldn't it? With that fire brim
Really, yeah.
chest of
Yeah.
fire. Look at me.
Absolutely. It's
With a big gold
peacock.
medallion.
Yeah.
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 Work.
Just get mistaken for a Scotsman.
Bit unpleasant when you just try and take them off there. I mean, even with spirit gum, that's going to hurt.
It's gonna sting. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we've got the Thousand Suns Librarian console. So this is
Yeah.
He looks all right, doesn't he?
do
Yeah, lovely.
like this model.
I
It's
do.
really
He does make me somewhat regret shifting on all my specialist units for that army.
Yeah,
Because
he's
He's really pretty.
lovely.
He's a bit blingy for my taste, but yeah, fair play to the guy.
I mean,
You do you.
you do.
Yep.
You do you. Yeah, I
let
mean, he's not. You're going to see him,
Yes,
but
yeah.
when you
No
do like
doubt.
that,
He's a nicer librarian than I think the Mark VI one is.
what's the
I would
one?
agree with
Which one is it? The book. Because there's like a librarian on the front of that.
Prospero Burns?
Prospero Burns.
Fool or
Can't-
whatever
which
it
one
is. Oh, no.
And he looks very similar to that.
The other one from Prospero Burns. The one with
Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
Thousand Suns, that's it.
Okay. Next,
Prospero
we-
Burns, 2010,
Prospero Burns.
14 years ago.
long
Wowzers.
time ago, isn't it? Yeah.
That
'Cause that was about the time that was it Dan Abnett found out he had diabetes and it messed up the publication order.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thousand Suns.
Okay.
Right, then we've got the Alpha Legion Saboteur console. So I think, nice model.
All right,
Not enough beret, and because you know that in every video game ever where there's a saboteur involved, they're always wearing a
To
beret
wear a beret and potentially be French.
and potentially be French. Exactly.
Yeah.
So slightly disappointed they haven't gone for that route here. Black and white stripes on the armor would have been a nice touch, I feel, as well.
Maybe some onions around the nut.
Exactly. Yeah.
The full effect.
The full
it's a
saboteur
nice-
look.
Yeah. It's a nice model. It's a bit understated, but I think that's what you
That's
need,
okay.
isn't it?
I don't think the Saboteur would. Here's the thing. Like,
He's a bit
Saboteurs-
jazzy.
Yeah, I was going to
for a
say he's
saboteur.
supposed to be like infiltrating behind enemy lines and setting fire to stuff. I mean, you couldn't walk down the street. You'd be like, can you just imagine that?
Down,
It's like,
down,
I'm just going to infiltrate behind lines with the Imperial fists. They won't know me. Why? Hello, Mister
I'm Disco.
Blue.
I'm Disco Stew.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
Just rolling them by.
I'm the new armor mark. I'm just modelling it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Just let me put these bombs on your land
Just like the
raiders. Actually,
C4, just for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Stuff
It
like
doesn't
that.
do that
I think
anymore,
he
does
uses.
it?
I think he uses his cameline to hide from people.
Yeah, fair enough.
Does
That's
he?
about the best. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Mr. B. You've kind of just about justified that.
Anyway,
Good effort.
next one, bit of terrain.
Yeah.
Killzone Beta Decima, which I think is temporary out of stock. It's kill team stuff, but it's interesting.
Isn't
hard.
that been released about 1,000 times before?
No, the legs are shorter and different to stuff
Oh,
they've done.
that's wow.
So it's like
Shorter and different.
shorter
Hey,
and
look,
different. So
that's why they put a fourth factor on the way. So
I was
that
going to
they
say,
can
yeah,
have
that's why they make
the
so much
big
flipping
legs,
money.
the small legs.
Yeah.
Factory 4
but
is
it's
gonna
not
be
about.
for the
It's not.
small legs.
If you can get it from your Element Games or whatever, Goblin Games or whatever, it's 63.75 at Element. But they don't have it in stock.
I don't
at the minute.
like it.
I cannot express to you how little I enjoy that paint scheme. By the
Yeah.
way.
Same,
Oh, paint
same
seems
here.
horrible, but this is the kind of stuff that I'd be like, yeah, I'll put that in my Zone Mortalis thing.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
it's good for a sort of throwaway.
And then we've got
75
coming in audiobook, which was surprised at because I thought it had already come out, but Sons of the Emperor, a Primarch's anthology, which is an older one. I can't remember when this was, but it's coming out 20th of January. It's currently $19.99. I assume it will be on Audible, but they don't put the pre-orders on Audible until like the day it's available. So,
No.
which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I assume that'll be a good one. Well, I know it's a good one. We've read the books already, so they got that. And then, speaking of books, Enter the Death Volume 3. It's going on pre-order Saturday. This show will come out after that. We don't know what the price will be. I'll shove it in the notes.
Same as all the others.
I assume the limited edition will bring down the website, and there'll be lots of disappointed people going, I couldn't get a copy.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
I mean, can you imagine if you've got all of them?
What, special editions?
Yeah, and then on that last volume,
eBay. You would
have to.
just go on eBay, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you have to.
I have seen a few people
Scalp 'em.
sell their entire collection for missing out one of these.
I've got one that Pete very kindly obtained and passed on to
Oh,
me.
that's right. Yeah.
That was the only one you
Right.
wanted, so
Yes, the Imperial Fist one.
but it's yeah, we know it's going to be an interesting day, and I
Oh, that is
wonder if
nice,
they'll
isn't
put they're beautiful books. I'd absolutely love them, but I knew this was going to be an issue as soon as it was announced. I was like, yeah, that's going to be a major issue.
Cut that out, Chris, because actually, that unlike Mr. B's dancing dressed as Dolly Parton special sideline, yours could be your ASMR.
ASMR.
But yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Gently massaging the
leather tones.
leather bound combs.
Okay, awesome. And then a couple of tangential items. We have the Sidonian Scatros, the potential assassin, £24 or wherever you can get it for your figure. I'd love to see this done in a Blanchetsu style. And then
Hold on, don't.
This is
tangential. These are
This is
tangential.
one of the
I know,
worst
Mr.
models
Beast.
I've ever seen.
I still think that
come
you do
out
that in a Blanchetsu
of
style,
Nottingham.
that'll look fantastic.
I've got to say, before you try and skirt over this one, Mr. B, as quickly as humanly possible with your tangential nonsense, I'm actually in agreement, bizarrely, with Mr. B on this. And I know that's somewhat, who would have thought it? But yeah, I think I quite like the.
If it's only going to look good if it's painted in one paint style that no one's going to really achieve.
I think I like the craziness of the Mechanicum, which I think is not the painting style of Blanchetsu, but the kind of aesthetic, if you like, of Blanchet. So like the Mechanicum things, I think that he does look twisted and kind of bleh.
when was
They're
the
not
last time?
heroic.
When was the last time you went to the circus? You saw some bloke on stilts and thought, do you know what? If you were in a Blanchester sort of style, you'd look really good. You wouldn't. What you do is you think, I'm going to push him over. He's the knob on the stilts. And try and push him over, which is exactly what you would do if you saw
Would
this
you
guy.
use him as an Imperial assassin?
No, because he's
Oh,
14 foot. He's 14 foot tall. Who's he assassinating?
I definitely consider it if I to go with a Mechanicum.
I would take that gun and I would use that gun for an Imperial assassin. Because I think the gun is very pretty. But
I like it, I've got to say.
the rest of that model,
no. All right.
in the bin.
Better.
I mean,
Okay. The other one that's tangential is
he's
the
going to die to a
Palatine.
chainsaw, isn't he? 'Cause he's just going to go along. Right,
Well, the
that's
thing is, I suppose
2
the
foot
idea
off
is
the
that
length.
if he's going to, mind you couldn't catch him because once he gets going on those stilts, he'd be going like a rocket. You'd need a flipping jet bike just to keep up with him.
Probably.
Yeah, each step would be like 40 foot. So yes, anyway.
Gargoyle's going to come along with his snow speeder and just tie a rope string around him. That's
Okay, what are you talking about with this, Mr.
The
Where,
other one
where
was
is
the
this?
Palatine Enforcer Taros Venom.
Where would you use this in the game?
It's an old model from the Guard, and they put it in Forces in it. Yes, it is. It's an old model.
Is it really?
Yeah, they used to make this in resin.
It was part of the drop.
It was the drop fleet.
What they're called?
Elysian Drop Troops.
Elysian
That's
drop
right.
fleet,
Yeah, they did have it. Granted, there was resin.
Yes. So it's like maybe you could use it in something. If you,
what? Okay, Mr. B.
I don't know. What
are you busy wigging this as?
I don't know actually. Do something with it. Maybe you could squeeze it in. That's why I said it's really tangential.
As a Taurox? Has it got any room at the back? Or
That's why I put it in as a tangential because maybe not. Anyway, shall we?
Twin links
what we've been up to.
It's quite a good model, though. I will say that before we dismiss it out of hand. But yeah, I would be like, I'd have to have a look at the size of the thing.
Honestly, I don't know the militia that well, but it's like I look at that and I'm like, it's an old model. I loved it in the day when it was in the Elysian. I always fancied an Elysian Force, but never
expensive.
That's just
because they were like. It was like basically oligarch money. Yeah,
it totally was.
Worse oligarch
because
money.
you think Harris, guard money for resin,
Crazy
things.
Cool.
Yeah, but
okay.
It was so anyway, shall we move on to what we've been up to?
Let's do that. So in the next section, we'll be going through what we collectively have been up to in terms of hobby, so including things like painting and modelling, and also the most important part, of course, the games that we've actually played. He says, knowing full well that's probably just me then.
We're 5 days early for me. That's
Okay, cool. So let's start with Mr. B. Talk us through what we've been painting this month.
Not much. I got a Scorpius painted, which had been on my to-do list for a while.
Yeah.
For the Imperial Fists, quite happy with that. It's a lovely model. The plastic.
It's a nice model.
Really nice.
You need two of them, not one.
Yeah, I might get a second one.
I would say.
Yeah, I got a Vindicator instead of a Scorpius.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But I think I might get another one because it does look like they'd be working well together. I think, but yeah, that's okay. And then I did a single Rhino, which I already showed off before for Imperialis. I got the model of the month from Games Workshop. They do a model of the month, and last month it was an Imperialis Rhino. So just went into the middle store, built it, and then brought it back and painted it.
Very nice.
Really nice model.
Are they doing that the rest of the range at all? Just so I can.
No, it'll take you 75 years to get the box set, but yes,
it's like those things you see on TV. There's one for the Lancaster bomber the other day, and it was it's 150 issues. Buy it, and issue 1 is £1.99. Other issues will be £11.
That's right.
Yeah. That's £1,500 worth to buy this stupid model. But I'm all right, thanks.
At least with the Hatchet part works, which of course Mr. B is a long time supporter of, and I did get the Imperium. Was it Imperium? The last one they did for 40k.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, ironically, so I've got that and diligently spent quite a lot of money every month. But it was what is nice about that particular way of doing things is you get a lovely present every month where you didn't actually have to leave the house, and you get this thing with like kits in. The only thing is, and actually they're not bad value, because I think the majority of the kits aren't as expensive as buying the magazine, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas I think those things, build the Titanic in 75,000 episodes, can hand it down through your generations, kind of thing. But yeah, I will say that they are quite an easy thing to get into, because they don't seem like a huge investment, but well worth. I think if you're playing 40k, for example, if they did a Heresy one, that'd be amazing.
I can't see them doing a Heresy one.
Well,
Very too specific.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, the problem was that
I don't think there were enough kits.
Yeah, I finished getting this, and then about 2 weeks later, the next edition of 40k came out. So all of the magazine stuff with all of the rules, how to play 40k and what have you, it was just completely wasted. Anyway, I digress. What about you, Chris? Have you put
this for this month's issue? Like,
was that the
Stormbringer, the Age of Sigmar stuff? And I'm like, that's quite cool.
That isn't bad. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Chris, have you managed to put glue to plastic or paint to airbrush?
I've only sort of very lightly. I've tried to get my Heterons ready for Monday, because I've got a big 7-player game, I think.
Oh, that's big.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think it's 9,000 points aside. We've got 2 tables, and we've got basically the whole day to do it. So, the whole afternoon and into the evening to do it. So, and I've got to take 3,000 points of something or another. So I'm taking 3,000 points of gold.
Just don't go anywhere near Mr. Smith. That would be my advice.
I mean, I try not to.
Get somebody else.
If I can help.
Get somebody else to take him on.
So
maybe convince him to bring a loyalist.
I don't know how. I think some of the guys, again, I think it's sort of they're newish players. So
okay.
That's
it, that you can sacrifice them.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, I'm just going to be walking behind them. But yeah, just move them forward. Just make them run.
Go forward.
Run them forwards. Yeah.
They hate being charged.
Yeah, they're really rubbish at it. So yeah, meat into the gristle. But so I'm kind of trying, and also because we've got the Mills brothers are going to war in April.
We are, yeah.
So I'm trying to get a list.
Did we book?
We have booked. Yeah, it was my turn to book. So
that's right. Yeah.
This is dicey territory, because I've given you plenty of stick over the years.
I know, right?
Your various accommodations.
And it is the Northwest, which is pretty ropey at the best times.
I've never used Airbnb before, and I had to provide a photo of myself. I had to explain why we were going and why I wanted to rent the place, and provide a mobile number.
It's a bit more.
And I then asked my friend at work who had used Airbnb, and she went, "I've never had to do any of that before." And I was like,
"Yeah, me neither."
Okay, that's fun.
I suppose they wouldn't want stag do's and stuff, would they?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think some people.
And maybe that's actually not. That actually gives me a bit more confidence that the place isn't going to be a complete tip. Or of course they're going to ship us away and kidnap us and sell us in the slave markets of Kazakhstan.
Let's be honest. Who's buying the 3 of us? I mean,
that's
2 of us don't function without serious medication.
That's a very good point. We wouldn't be, but we'd be in the bargain bin of that.
We would, yeah.
Only Dave is worth a few quid.
Dave's, yeah, he's pack horse. He can,
he can do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
that one we had when we went to Warhammer Fest wasn't that bad.
No, but I mean, bear in mind that Graham once booked a hotel room and didn't actually pay attention to how many rooms there were that he'd booked, and then we had to
mistake. And the second one was Polonium, which is not my fault, right?
No, that's entirely It was. But it is a good stick to beat.
Yeah, the Novichok Hotel.
The Novichok Hotel. This is a great story, and one I often enjoy reciting to people.
Oh yeah, it is one of those. It's one of those big stories of my life. It's like when when I have to recite something at my funeral, that I'll probably do without.
But no, I was, because it's, there's that line in Last Crusade where the bad American guy goes, "Oh, it looks like Germany just declared war on the Jones boys." I was thinking, we need to get some T-shirts made. This, looks like Horus declared war on the Mills boys or something.
Are you all going as loyalists?
Yes,
we're all going as. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yes.
I can't remember if Dave got a loyalist ticket or not.
Didn't he get a? Well, they sold out.
He might be a neutral.
A neutral. Yeah.
But
this Dark Angel, so I suppose that's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that'd be good. But anyway, I'm trying to hone this. So my current, because this is going to go after the game, I'm going to run you through my list to get your thoughts.
Nice. Yep.
Okay. So, I'm taking my Tribune with his double Meridian blades because
they're cool. Fairly nasty.
Yeah.
The Meridian blades again. So
Meridian blades, they've got 3 modes of attack.
Oh yes.
So he's kind of multi-purpose.
2+, 4+.
2+. He can do a strength 10 AP1 attack with them. He can do rage when he's outnumbered, and his normal attacks are fairly useful anyway.
The one who's got like Eternal Warrior.
He does have Eternal Warrior.
Yeah, that's useful, isn't it?
Because I ain't no fool.
Yeah. Toughness 5, strength 5 base.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna take the Daredevil, the Deadpool assassin, as I go nickname him. Whether that happens or not, it's massively important. It's only 125 points, and I can easily find 125 points to spend elsewhere if I need to.
That's a minor upgrade for the Custodes, isn't it? It's like just a knife or whatever.
Basically, it's like, 2 guys.
Yeah.
3 guys.
Okay.
Just because I thought he'd be quite cool, and I thought he'd be quite cool.
Yeah. Which one is it? Sorry, he's the one with the shooter.
Yeah, the Adamus. He's the one with the sword on the back.
Okay.
And he can do like a decapitating strike. That's it goes initiative 1, but it's strength 10, AP1, Fleshbane, or something horrible. Anyway, it's like kills on a 2+ instant death evil. Yeah. My Claude Heteron, 4 of them. My Aquilians are coming this time, so my Terminator guys.
They've all got worth it.
They've all got power fists.
Are they the strength 10 AP1 power fists?
They are Solarite gauntlets. So
yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Lovely.
4 of them will be coming with me. 1 Dreadnought because.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna. Because the thing I always forget with Dreadnoughts is that, especially that one, you can still use his fists. He still he comes with the big axe.
Yes.
But he also has a power fist.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I always forget that because I see the big axe and think
that's what I've got to use.
That's what I've got to use. But I can just punch you in the face with my brutal fist.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just normal Dreadnought fists. So
totally worth it. Yeah.
I need to get that in my mind. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Those fists are not nice.
No, absolutely. 2 5-man Guardian squads, so 2 lots of spears. That's 10 guys with spears. In each one, there's strength 5 AP2 instant death weapons with in range. They say like pistol range, but it's enough to cause a nuisance. One sword.
Yeah, it's a surprise, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
I suppose the other problem with short-range pistol attacks is you want to use them after they've used their reactions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can then return fire. But yeah.
And then 1 sword and shield unit, just because I've got the models and having them as 5+ invulnerable save as opposed to 6+ invulnerable save. Just a little bit different. The swords, you don't make a huge amount difference to the spears, but they're still AP2, so they're still going to do the job I need them to do.
Yeah. Initiative 5 AP2.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm going to take 4 Eagle Boys, the 4 of the jump pack guys.
Okay, yeah.
Because I still think I can. Still think it might be useful just for getting in.
You've got to deal with them because I didn't once and they wrecked my day. But they haven't got that weird shieldy thing.
The shield thing's not that great. If
Okay.
I'm perfectly honest with you. Their gun thing is just as good as the gun that their spear comes with. And I'd rather have them with the axes or with the spears because they'll actually murder stuff. And then I'm gonna take Valdor, but I do suspect this might be a sort of last hurrah potentially.
Okay.
Because at 350 points, it's the Lord of War.
10% of your force, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over 10%.
And plus, I want to give them teleportation transponders as well, so that's another 125 points. And that's
it's going to be. I can just see Saturday night now.
It's Monday afternoon, so it's going to be.
It's going to be. Oh, bloody hell! The bloody deep strike in this game's bloody broken. Bloody
it's going to be absolutely
bloody nonsense.
But yeah, just 350 points. I might be better off come April taking more guys with spears or more Aquilian Terminators or something, as opposed to one guy that, although is
I guess the problem is he gets shot before he gets to be used, doesn't it? That's always the problem.
That's why I take the teleport, so that I can, in theory, put him there, get him in. He can do something.
You're the king of danger close, though.
I do,
which also adds added risk to his potential chances of survival.
Go big, go home.
He who dares wins, as they say.
I did spend a good hour, maybe 2 hours, with 2 of the Corvus transports in my online basket. And I was thinking, maybe I've got to bite that bullet and get a couple of them. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. They're not assault vehicles, and they're stupid money. So I snapped myself out of that fairly rapidly after that. I think that's what I'm going to run with. And
they're a very weird unit.
Yeah, they are.
It should be an assault vehicle.
Should be. But so that's what I'm going to run with. Hopefully it's going to more boots on the ground. None of those. I took the jet bikes out because they were fairly non-existent. I'm just going to.
You're going all in on close combat, aren't you? There's not a single bit of shooting in there.
There's not really, because the tanks.
Okay.
The only thing I was thinking of doing possibly is taking a Telemon, but even the Telemon's weapons range.
I think I would rather face a Telemon. No, I'm trying to think. A Telemon's probably harder to kill than Matey Boy is.
Well, Valdor in combat's got a 3+ invulnerable save, so in theory,
it's the shooting, isn't it? It's just like even getting shot by like a 20-man squad through the Legion. I mean, I suppose they've got the same save, but
he's never going to run around on his own as well. Bearing in mind, he's always going to have some bullet
toughness 8 on the Telemon does make it quite an appealing thing. And again, if you run it at somebody, they're going to have to deal with it.
Do something about it.
And it's going to take a fair few shots to get through it, as I found out to Michael.
So that's.
And I guess Valdor can't. Can Valdor react? Well, I guess he can. Can't he? I just think it's only because like certain Lords of War can't react, but it's only things like Titans can only react to other Titans, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, he's still a Primarch, so so he still acts in that sort of normal way, but I'm just thinking for what potentially might be a competitive environment, whether he's.
I think a Telemon would be better. Genuinely, I know you like. I mean, he's not as thematic, but I suppose because Dreadnoughts are just so tough to deal with, and you have to deal with them, particularly Eltel if you're running him. Would you be like double fisting it, or as it were, or would you?
I probably wouldn't double fist him.
One gun and one
gun, one fist. Like you do a Leviathan, because that's what he's equivalent. He's a Leviathan equivalent.
His gun's better, isn't he? Or is it-
His guns aren't as good as the melter thing on there.
Oh, right. But hasn't he got an AP3 cannon multi-shot thing?
Yeah, but they're not
It's not great
crazy
range.
amount of they're not crazy amount of shots or crazy amount of range either. So armory of the forces of the Imperium.
Just thinking that might be quite good against the las cannon squad, because although they're going to shoot you, you could return fire within rip through a las cannon squad. But I guess the person's tanking it on the sergeant, of course.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where his weapons are going now.
It's such a chew on trying to find the weapons for things in books.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm going to roll with. Hopefully, it's going to at least do
deep striking.
So deep strike
might work because one would hope that the other people in the army would give them something to shoot at. But I guess that does mean turn 2.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to start on the board with some stuff.
Yeah, I probably will start on the.
You need to start on the board with some stuff.
I mean, most of it, I will probably deep strike Valdor and the Heterons again.
Oh, okay.
And
Terminators?
No, because I want those Heterons, because they've got 8 attacks each. Normal initiative, strength 5, AP2. I want them to get in. And they're only Heterons, I'm not running them as Aquilians. They're only a 6 up invulnerable save. So although it's 2+ armor save, I'd rather than just have one unit, pop it there, and then it just goes, right, let's cut the head off the Hydra kind of vibe.
Nice.
That's the plan.
I wish
Fast forward to the next recording when I go.
I bloody scattered
this game.
Deep strike scattered off the board.
I've emailed the event people for a refund on the ticket.
Bring in the big demons.
Yeah, that's it. Big D's will come out.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting ready for that, but it's not December. Is not a time for me to sort of
be
crazy
too much.
Crazy busy at work, and then sort of getting home and just like need to chill out.
Okay. So what did I do? So weirdly enough, I had quite a lot of time off over Christmas. So from like the 22nd, I think, to the 2nd. So I thought I'll get loads of stuff done, and of course I didn't get loads of stuff done. I think if you listen to the Patreon thing, I was talking about building a Gundam model, which I enjoyed a lot, which took me 2 days. So that probably was after that. I did build a Kaitan though, so I started mine.
Cool.
Yeah, except I put the bloody middle bit on the wrong way round.
The thing I couldn't is are his legs meant to be like a fawn's kind of goat?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They are. He does look a little bit like he skipped leg day. I've got to be honest. He could have done with some big, powerful monster legs, but yeah, he looks a little bit.
This thing with the torso was built before the legs were ever thought of, weren't they? So,
and their legs are such a chew on to put together. I know they go, you can pose them, all the rest of it, but I've yet to, those particular fawn-based legs.
Yeah,
they're kind of
they join. I don't think I've
ever managed to get one symmetrical. You always end up with one that's like half an inch tall, the wrong side.
They are difficult.
It just drives me mad. And again, after doing this Gundam model, I was like, why do I put myself through this? Anyway, in the end, I did actually put his groin section around the wrong way. It's supposed to have like a nice skirt at the front. Instead, it's got armor plates. But it's like, it doesn't look too bad. So I didn't beat myself up too much about it. Other than that, I did build and paint, or started to paint, my Master of Possession. So he's the 40k figure.
Yep.
To go for I think I'm going to use him as my herald in my new demonic corrupted army for Sons of Horus. So I'm going to paint him up in Sons of Horus colours. I don't want to do him black though, because if I do him black, he'll look like a 40k figure. So I'm going to do him Sons of Horus green. Yeah, because he is a 40k figure, obviously. But I thought he's pretty cool. He's got like a big, like goat head staff thing, which I think make him a cool herald.
Yeah, I was looking at him thinking he might be an esoterist or.
Yeah, he totally could do that. Or even a librarian. Yeah. I'm not sure about the backpack. I haven't glued the backpack on yet, so I could always change that out for something a little bit more 40k and 30k ish, if you see what I mean, because it is very 40k with all of the shenanigans on it. But yeah, that kind of late heresy corrupted army. So I'm going to have the Khitan in there. Going to have the despoiler thing in there. Is it despoiler? Yeah. Couple of the hell brutes.
Or the
decimator.
Decimator.
Sorry, decimator.
Because the despoiler was the crabby, like the crab walker thing, I think.
I've got, and then 2 hell brutes, whatever they are, 40k chaos ones. So I think they look pretty cool, and that'll make quite a nice little army, I think.
Yeah.
And I've got my old school metal Astafaran dreadnought with the plasma cannon and the.
Oh, nice.
So he's going to be there as well. So yeah, I'm going to try and do a sort of corrupted Sons of Horus list, which would be quite good fun, I think. So yes, the Khitan is and all of those things are to be painted. So that's going to be me, I think.
Cool.
What about games played then? Mr. Nobody, just
played any.
Just me, I guess.
A week early for me, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think what I did before Christmas. I can't remember. And it wasn't like I had a particularly heavy Christmas either. But we did have the traditional big game at Durham Raiders. So they have like a gaming day between Christmas and New Year, which was on the Wednesday, I think. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we had, I think out of like 10 tables worth, I think 4 or 5 of them were Heresy, which was really great. A lot of people playing Heresy in Durham at the moment, so that's really cool. So I wrote a couple of missions for that, and then we had I think I had a game definitely involved taking on Space Wolves, which was fun. Particularly old Mr. Russ, he did me a number actually. He is a proper piece of work actually. I've got to say, he really is tough. Even on his own, like without a bodyguard squad, he still went through my army like it didn't exist. But yeah, and then we had in the afternoon, sort of later on in the afternoon, we had a big game, and I kind of was right to run this Talon mode, which I've been sort of playing with for some time. So basically, you could only bring tanks and knights and dreadnoughts, but basically no infantry. So no infantry, no bikes, just to speed it up, because otherwise you're moving lots and lots.
No infantry, no bikes, no entry.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. So basically, and I didn't have a force org, so it's basically just bring whatever you have, and then we kind of balance the sides accordingly. And then there were reserves. So what kind of put a mechanic in where you had the victory points. Basically, what you had to do was you had 3 objectives for each side, and the idea was that you had to move the objectives to the other person's board edge.
Gotcha.
If you see what I mean? Yeah. And so, and for each one of those, I think you got 1,000 points. So the maximum points to the side to get was 3,000, I think, because they got the objectives across. But you had a sort of 3,000 point reserve pile, so you could basically bring reserves on, or different units on, from that 3,000 points, if you see what I mean. So at the end of the game, it was totaling the victory points up to see who got the most. So the idea being is that if you didn't use any reserves and you got all 3 objectives across, then you get 3,000 points. But if you used a load of reserves and still got all your objectives across, you could actually still lose because you'd actually spent all your points before in advance, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So it actually worked pretty well. It's not a bad mechanic. It might be something we think about for.
I mean, resource management is always
it wasn't overly complicated as well, which is always good. I didn't want to make it super complex. And it was just a fun way to play a big game that wasn't too time consuming or onerous, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things people say about big games is they can be a slog. You know, if you're waiting 2 hours for one turn for them to finish their turn, then you've got 2 hours to do your turn. And it's slightly better in this edition because at least you've got reactions. But I think just having tanks and knights and titans and whatever just made it a bit more
keeps it simple, isn't it?
A bit quicker, yeah.
I mean, infantry is always the hassle because you're having to move, 5, 6, 7 guys, make sure they kind of got cover, map like that. It's always dice to roll.
Yeah, exactly. It's more dice to roll. And I think we did do also. I did the first turn was 24-inch maximum range, regardless whether you had like night vision or anything like that, and kind of like doing, like in what's the Aliens film where there's that like Silica Storm, Prometheus.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
So it's like that's the world. The world is basically fallen to bits, So the first round, just to limit, because obviously the other thing about happening in big games is the side that goes first gets a huge advantage.
Yeah.
You know, because you're firing massive guns, you know, that can be devastating and take out loads and loads of units. So to try and limit that sort of turn one annihilation. So as a mechanic, I thought it was pretty good actually. It seemed to work quite well. And without a lot of it was a lot more fun because there was no force org, and they were just bringing various units. So I think it worked. It's something I would do again. I think with a little bit. The only thing I would do differently is I wouldn't allow dreadnoughts.
Were they too powerful? Were they
too powerful? Yeah, way too powerful. You know,
I suppose against
vehicles and knights, and they're going to just, you know, they're so hard to kill. You know, because most vehicles are 1 or 2 shots at strength 8, and you've got a dreadnought running around with, you know, 7 wounds. Yeah. They just took they just did a number on everything. So it's just like even the knights struggled against it.
And a armor saver and a vulnerable save.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's I would probably just not take dreadnoughts, but I think other than that, it worked quite well.
They really need to tone those down.
I don't think they ever will. They're just such a. I mean, anyway, we'll come into that. And the last game I had was yesterday actually, and that was a 2,000 point game against Alpha Legion. I took an all infantry list because I was like, I can't be asked to look tanks about. So I just basically made a 2,000 point list with my Sons of Horus, with just infantry. So you'll be very pleased. Not a single tank in
tank
there.
Inside. I mean, that's the way the game's. That's a gentleman's way to play the game.
Well, you say that. So that I brought a fairly gentlemanly. I mean, it wasn't. There were 2 assault reaver squads. I did have a Justaran squad with a Praetor. I had an Armistice with a 7-man las cannon squad and a Chaplain, Thunderhammer, and Jetpack together with one of the squads, and then just 2 tactical squads and, like I say, the heavy support squad. But he had 3 dreadnoughts at 2,000 points, which is
that's not cricket. I mean,
tough, right?
Quote Jeff Boycott. Do I not like that? No, not Jeff Boycott. Brian Clough, where it was. Do I not like that?
It was tough.
Graham
Taylor. Do I not like that?
Do I not like that?
Not a good list.
I mean,
well, it's a good list. It's just not a fun list.
Everything else was straightforward enough. They had a 10-man las cannon squad, like a 10-man plasma gun squad, and a 20-man tactical squad and a 10-man tactical squad, I think, as well as a headhunter squad. So yeah, gotcha. But the dreadnoughts, everything had to go into the dreadnoughts basically. So you know, I was kind of throwing my assault squads at the dreadnoughts, hoping to try and kill them, which didn't necessarily work. The Justaran did okay against them, but yeah, they were just really difficult to deal with, and even the Lascans didn't do a great deal against them, unfortunately. So, but anyway. It was Dominion, so I just got the objectives early to try, because that's the way to win that game. You can't mess about. You've got to be on the objectives turn 1 and just try and stay there as long as possible to get the victory points. But so I think I'd got 8 victory points by the end of the game, just by kind of camping objectives. But I had been pretty much decimated by that point. And I think he had 6 victory points, and then he got the attrition, which is D3, and then got a bloody 5. So 1 by 1 victory point. So close game, but yeah, 3 dreadnoughts is a tough thing when I didn't have any dreadnoughts to deal with them. So yeah, that's definitely a lesson learned for next time. I think bring some dreadnoughts. But yeah, Alpha Legion are quite tricksy, but they're not terrible. You know, I was conscious of the fact that he had his Praetor running around on his own, and I could tell that he was just waiting for me to shoot him so that he could use his special reaction to, you know, move 12 inches and then scatter a D6. But yeah, I wish it wasn't bad. It was a good game, though. I will say that it was good fun. So yeah, and that was me. So yeah, three or 4 games in the whole Christmas period. Like I say, I think the big game is probably something I'd do again, but with slightly better rules, maybe and a bit more.
I mean, it's always just effective play testing, isn't it? Kind of, you're always going to. I mean, how many times have we gone? You know, when we ran events.
Yeah.
You know, we run a mission in March, and by September it would be
complete. Yeah, it would be
overhauled because we had seen how on mass it would work in a slightly different way to
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you start playing with a mission you develop and rules and stuff, you immediately realize, oh right, I've got a dozen things here that I need to change because they doesn't work. Or it's just a thing with the game.
One of the custom missions that we had, which was a asymmetric mission, which was where you had to get your one side to get troops into the deployment zone for victory points, the other side had to shoot things to get victory points. I think it's harder to shoot things to get victory points than it is, or to destroy units, maybe, than it is to get units into deployment zones. So I think that you'd either have to give 2 for destroying a unit versus, points of getting a unit into a deployment zone. So yeah, it's those kinds of things that you only really find through playtesting, that they're out of balance or hard to win. But anyway, all good. Cool. Shall we go on to the State of the Union?
Yes, we should. How about we take a look at the State of the Union that is heresy? Now, because we didn't put out an episode for December, it would normally there'd be a lot to discuss, but actually December's quite a quiet month in terms of wargaming. So I guess it's not actually that big a section this month, is it?
So you say that.
Well, yeah, that's when we start talking about stuff that's completely irrelevant. But let's go on then.
Okay.
Start with Chris, I guess.
Okie dokie. So, 40k, the game from the far, far future. The Dark Angels are getting, I'm guessing, a new codex coming out, or whatever they call them in that game these days.
Yeah, eventually.
And they got some new Deathwing Knights, which are pretty jazzy. I think I prefer the Cenobium Knights to these guys. That's why that guy's pretty cool. I like some of the helmets on these guys, but they look.
It's just basically Indomitus Terminators that
Yeah, but they've got a new style helmets.
Are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, those helmets are different. They're more Grey Knighty.
Yeah.
They're not the tusky. Ones you get. Oh, they're cool. I'm not fussed about the rest of the models, but yeah, they're pretty jazzy.
I mean, yeah, still it's an option.
Yeah, I think they look great.
Option for heresy, because
absolutely, yeah.
Indomitus Terminators can take this stuff pretty much. So
I do like. You're right. The helmets look excellent on those.
Yeah, they do look really cool.
Yeah. Why didn't I notice the helmet?
Grey Knighty. You're quite right, Chris.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
spot.
I mean, you could Imperial fist those, couldn't you, with those shields?
You could.
But you've got all those very much Dark Angel symbols and stuff all over them. So
I think a Dremel can't cure.
I think it can be done.
Okay, but that's
cool.
They're an option.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, nice. Also, the upgrade for the Chaos Space Marines kit coming that is Night Lord specific. Alrighty.
Yeah, I mean, I think this could definitely be used for late heresy Night Lords.
I just think they're trying too hard, Night Lords, all the time.
They always are. They always are.
It's like, oh, come on, lads. We know you're scary.
We know what you're about. We're wise to your game.
Batwing heads to prove it. The only one that I do quite like is Mr. Skullface. There, it looks a bit like a predator with the lightning claws.
Oh yeah. He does a bit, but I like the I quite like the way they've sleeked up the black Batwings. They're still there, but they're not like really.
Yeah,
they're not judged fear from.
Yeah, you're right.
They're a bit sleeker. Yeah,
they're not bad though. They aren't bad. I will give them that. What mark armor is that? Is that?
It's sort of Mark 5.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's Chaos Space Marine armor from 40k, but it's, as I said, it's definitely suitable for late heresy.
If you change the backpacks,
Mark 5 stuff.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, change the backpacks.
I do like the Night Hunter or Night Haunter wannabe guy in that, with the almost identical kind of pose coming off the tactical mound that he has on his base with the two claws in his arms.
Oh
Yeah, he does look good. Yeah.
He's some options there. Okay. Armies on Parade happened. Again, not great for Heresy fans. They really needed a Heresy category. There was one Heresy entry, really, and that was a bronze that was taken in one of the categories. I think it was other games, and that was for a Legion Astartes Death Guard army, which looks pretty good. A bit, it's fine. It's great. It's really nice, really clean for Death Guard. But it's a nice setup in this sort of fortress as they're preparing to go to war. It's interesting, but it's got a lot of models in there. A lot of models.
Trying to find it. Hold on.
Big model. I've put a link directly to the picture. If you look at the and there.
Okay.
The notes. Yeah, there's a link directly to the picture, but it's
Oh yeah, Legion Astartes Death Guard. Good shout. Oh, okay, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. But
yeah, all right.
It's a nice way to put a board together. But yeah. Anyway, back to you, Chris.
Right. War Games Atlantic continue to offer us alternative militia models. We've got the Deathfield Highlanders to complement the Bulldogs and the Les Grognard, our old friend Les, making an early appearance in 2024. God, 2024. Let's have a look at these chappies. Who are they ripping off this time round?
Yeah, so the Highlanders are obviously
but hang on, they come in packs of 5 when we all know that there should be
only one.
Only one.
Very good.
Well, these are STCs. The Highlanders, they're STCs. So once you get one, you can do as many you want. There's just 5.
Oh, I see. Right. They're quite cool. I will give them
and then that completely ruins the game. No.
And then and then that's compatible with the Bulldog, which is sort of like the British dudes.
Okay. Yeah, it might be right for a militia / Solar Ops army, I guess.
Yeah. And obviously, Grognard's getting horses now. So.
Okay.
Les has moved into racing, has he?
Yeah. Okay.
These look really, really nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Les Grognards.
Yep.
They do look pretty good. Give you that. Okay, nice.
Option there. Okay, cool.
Right,
what about you,
no
Graham?
arguments from me there. Where are we at? The studio did the usual playing around with new kit with the Assault Marines. So let's see what we've.
Yep. So they did a bunch of new pictures for the Assault Marines.
Okay.
White scars. Nice. Yeah, lots of different.
That Raven Guard there.
Yeah,
they actually look alright, actually, don't they?
One from pretty much every legion.
Every legion.
I think so.
Salamanders are a bit too green, but yeah.
Yeah, depends on your color scheme. The Dark Angels look interesting. It's almost like it's really subtle there. The Dark Angels ones there.
Wait a minute, I can't tell you what's between Is there 2 Dark Angels?
There are. Yes, there's 2 Dark Angels. There's one that's really bright red, and there's one that's like a really subtle red.
Okay. Yes. Are there? Okay, maybe I'm being thick here. Are there 3? There are 3 red armies there, right? Is one of them?
No, sorry. There's 3 Blood Angels in a row on the left hand side.
Okay.
There's 1, 1, 1. Yeah, 3.
You sure they're not? Aren't they?
No,
Empress?
I think
they've
they're
got the helmets on.
The middle one's got blood in his shoulder pads.
I think the loyalists are all below the Iron Warriors here.
The man is correct. They are all Blood Angels. Yeah.
Okay, fair play.
No, I don't think Thousand Sons are represented actually. Lots of Emperor's children.
Yeah,
not surprised.
Not surprised. We'll try and get in with the boss. So that's quite a nice empty one. That's quite a nice colour scheme, isn't it? The kind of
Which one?
so yeah, for those of you watching at home,
4 of them.
Which you can do now. You can indeed now watch from home.
Yeah, which one? Is it the first one or the
first one on the left, which I quite like?
second one down on the left.
That one
Yeah.
down. With the
more of a
the guy's got the power fist and the
yes.
Yeah,
it's
sort of a maroonish purple. I would.
rather
that is
than
quite
the
nice.
Cadbury's chocolate
It's
version.
got a slight shine to it as well.
Yeah,
Right.
it is a nice colour scheme. That very cool.
Lovely.
Okay. I do think actually, if you look at the Sons of Horus or Sons of Horus heads, how much better those Assault Marines look.
Let's have a look. The ones, yeah. Oh wow, they look a lot more brutal.
Yeah, those Sons of Horus heads from Mark 6 are great.
Yeah,
they do much better. Yeah, cool. Okay, nicely done.
Yeah, they're
some
nice.
interesting stuff. All right, magic.
Okay. And the Sons of Horus, or Heresy, getting a new kit very soon with the Dark Emissary console. Looks really, really cool.
Yeah. Seems a little superfluous, to be honest with you, when you've got Malagos the Twisted, which you could use to do that exact same thing. But yeah, I suppose mind you, he's still resin, isn't he, this boy?
Yeah, still resin.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I think I prefer the Malagos the Twisted model. But yeah, not terrible.
But
he's definitely got. If we were looking at our faces from the bedroom,
the new segment we're going to bring in.
Yeah, you would not. That's not a face you'd want to see.
I wonder if he'll have a helmeted head.
I don't know actually. Dark Emissary, probably not. He's looking as a proper scowl, isn't it? Just imagine. Yeah. Okay.
He's definitely annoyed with something.
Not happy about things. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to say that face can relate to, but because this is a PG,
and it has to remain a PG. Yeah,
exactly.
As much as I try very hard for it not to be.
Yeah. But all I can say is
that's a man who's found a particular.
The other half's brought out some equipment she wants to try.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh man. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is definitely the face.
Yeah, because they're
trying to do something different. Oh, moon river. Okay.
No, we're not going to paint the walls that colour. We're going to use the sanding equipment that we bought us to do it for the job. I don't know what else you could be alluding to.
No, absolutely.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Right.
Moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on.
Lose our
swiftly on.
Our PG-13.
Hard-earned.
As
the family-friendly Heresy podcast. Although we've kind of, at times, definitely scared that line. Right, the last exemplary battle arrived, the liberation of Kostanix II, which gave us some new provinces of war for the Imperialist militia, focused around Mechanicum-aligned forces. I'll be honest with you, I have none of these armies and didn't pay any attention whatsoever.
I should have.
Yeah, basically,
because I've got an army, but yeah,
you've got basically just provinces of war, 3 new provinces of war. A arms of the Omnissiah, and basically they get to upgrade lasguns to lever rifle for free, and they've got a couple other options. Augmented levy, so basically they receive +1 to the leadership, get stubborn, and the right of pure thought from Liber Mechanicum. That's for levy squads, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of bits and bobs again, and then Forge Remnant, so Militia Grenadier squads and Imperialist Militia Command squads as province may take Triorus armored conveyors as a dedicated transport, and they get an additional 3 heavy support choices, but they have to be Frios squadrons.
Yeah, and the Kryos get the 3rd line, which makes them pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad tank, the Kryos, to be honest with you. But yeah, not in 3rd line mode.
Yeah, but you got some bits and bobs there, so
slightly different.
Yeah, slightly different, but just more choices. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where are we? Oh yeah, Amazon TV deal for a 40k show. But we haven't had our invitations to star in it yet.
Or
we-
script right. That's
Yeah, or be
I'm
personal,
expecting
personal
Chris-
assistance
delayed,
to Henry Cavill.
delayed in the Christmas post. I expect.
Almost certainly.
But
Mate,
yeah,
we can't even
should
get a free rhino out of Games Workshop. I can't quite see.
That's not true. Mr. B got a free rhino.
I got a free rhino.
That's true.
Yeah, but he did go into a store and everyone else got one as well, which sanctifies the whole.
It hardly makes you special.
My eyes went crazy.
Yeah. You went special.
Yeah. Amazon TV could be interesting, could be great. I've got a horrible feeling that it's going to be terrible.
It depends. As long as they don't do Marines, I think it's got a good chance, because I don't think Marines are something you can really do.
Shall we open the book, as it were, and what do we think it's going to be? Do we think it's going to be Inquisition related?
Ravener.
Eisenhorn. I think it'll be Eisenhorn.
Yeah,
I think
could see Henry
what's
could
the
be
first book?
young
Xenos. What's the first book? Xenos.
It's been a long time since I read it. I have read them. They were very good.
Yeah.
They're Dan Abnett, aren't they? Are they Dan Abnett?
Yeah.
I think if they're smart, they'll do Eisenhorn. They'll do the first Eisenhorn book as a series.
I think the problem is that the first series will probably be Marines. And the reason being is because Marines are iconic. And for us as aficionados of the universe, we would like to see. I don't think
Marines are working in. I really don't think.
I'm not saying they're going to work. I'm saying
Marines will work in live action. If it's an animation, I think Marines could work.
But what's that thing that they're doing?
Fallout TV show, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if they're doing Steel Legion for Fallout, they can. I mean, what's the difference?
The Brotherhood of Steel.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is that this month Fallout?
I think that, like I said, they will use Marines just because Marines are iconic. So bear in mind that it's not just going to be 40k people that watch this, because otherwise Warhammer TV would have made millions, right? It's going to be other people who don't know the universe, and I think going straight in with Ravener or whatever, or Eisenhorn, would potentially be too. We already know the world and the setting, whereas they'd have to do that world building to people who aren't familiar with the source material, if you like.
Okay.
I mean, even with the Rings of Power, you had the Lord of the Rings films, so you could argue that. Whereas the only way that you would get exposure to the 40k universe would be if you played the game or read some of the books, which isn't everybody. So yeah, I think they will make Marines, but I don't think it's a good idea. Like you say, Mr. B, I think we would prefer to see something much more.
Have them a sort of fleeting, as a sort of a thing that's there, but don't base it around them.
I think that's why Gaunt's Ghosts work, right? Because the Marines are in there are kind of like demigods, aren't they? They are rare.
In the Warhammer Adventures book, which everyone was like, "Oh, kids!" But basically, in the first book, the Marines are there for 2 seconds, and then they're off.
Yeah, I think the most interesting parts. I mean, when we were writing stuff we didn't like writing stuff for Marines because it's hard to write for, as opposed to writing stories about humans
empathic humans that feel emotion. And I know some of the Black Library writers in the past, it's really hard to write them because
I mean their whole outlook on life is they're immortal effectively, aren't they? Which makes their whole sort of worldview slightly different, and they're there for one purpose and one person alone, which is to sort of fight and kill. So it's quite a hard thing to get your head around. So I think I think they will use Marines, but I think they'll be looking for a better. Sorry. So those of you following along on the YouTube will have seen Chris's photo skills coming to the fore.
Basically, just what I spent the last section doing is.
He's kind of modelled a circus clown performer on stilts with the gun from the whatever that weird creature thing was called with a 40k background. I think he looks pretty good actually. Totally blends in. So I can see Games Workshop snapping that up as a model for the next version of that one. Anyway, if
entirely the same.
if you want to go and have a look on the YouTube rather than listen to it on podcast, please do. Anyway, so we look forward to it. I mean, Henry Cavill's got is he executive producer or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether that's a title that they give to people just to pay them more money, I don't know. Or whether he would actually have any creative input as to what the universe and the stories are will be remain to be seen. Cool.
We'll have to see.
It's costing them a fair chunk of change. So,
didn't somebody say something that when they signed the deal, Games Workshop made a right balls up with it?
No, that was total rubbish.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Honestly, anyone who believed that, I've got some magic beans to sell you.
Yeah, Graham.
Graham.
Oh no, seriously.
Yeah,
no, seriously. Someone thought they broke the room and say, the person in charge.
My 3-year-old niece laughed at that.
She read that. You're in on Bell of Souls again, you chump.
Yeah, no, honestly, if anybody from Games Workshop would let any employee sign an agreement with anybody before the lawyers look at it.
I must admit, even I raised an eyebrow at that because we know how litigious they are.
It's not even that.
Right.
No company with no company that publicly traded is going to sign any agreement like that, any kind of agreement, without checking it with the lawyers.
Right. You wouldn't be able to. And again, they have a whole department just specifically for their own IP. So I'm pretty sure they would have,
But someone might have.
Somebody would have gone, maybe we should have a look at this because I mean, Amazon, not exactly. You'd be dealing with them with very cautious arms.
The fact it's taken a year to get from an agreement in principle to a fully fledged agreement just shows how much work has gone into this with the lawyers.
I did one of the things I read in an article I read about this particular deal is that GW are basically spending a year telling Amazon what they can do. From the sounds of it, they're kind of laying down the sort of.
Well,
this is what we expect.
That is what happens when any deal is signed with an IP.
But they're spending a year doing that. We're not going to see this show for quite some time.
It's not that unusual. Apparently, the deal between Netflix and Disney for the Defenders stuff took nearly 2 years to negotiate. Not Disney, Marvel at the time, and Netflix. Apparently, it took 2 years to negotiate because there was all sorts of you can use this character, you can reference these characters.
Games Workshop and Amazon will work together for a period of 12 months to agree creative guidelines for the films and television series to be developed by Amazon. The agreement will only proceed once the creative guidelines are mutually agreed between Games Workshop and Amazon.
Yeah, they'll because you've probably got the creative people like, well, we want to look at this direction, and then the other guys will be.
How do we make a kids' TV show? How do we make it kid friendly? Well, you don't, because Jeff over there's got a bolt gun to his head, and Steve is definitely going to pull it before he eats him.
Yeah, I guess how will this impact Warhammer TV? Do you think that will mean that all of it?
Warhammer TV is different to what any.
Yeah,
it's different. It's not.
You change the output.
It's not just shows. It's also to be honest, anyone who subscribes to Warhammer Plus for the shows on Warhammer TV is an idiot. You subscribe there because you've got the Vault. You've got the
Graham, don't subscribe for your TV shows.
Yeah, you've got believe anything you read on
the internet.
You've got the free models. You've got the subscription to the apps, which is really where the value is, because those apps are like £2 to subscribe to one of them. If you play both main games, Age of Sigmar and 40k. Subscribe to those, you're paying £2 more, and you've got the Vault. And to be honest, I'd pay for the Vault all on its own. Maybe
that was a note from our sponsors, Games Workshop.
No. Honestly, look,
this is why we don't get nice things, isn't it?
If you are going to Warhammer Plus for just the shows, then you're doing it wrong.
I just wondered whether the shows would stop because they would kind of be in. You could argue they might be in direct competition to what Amazon is doing.
I doubt it. It depends. They'll probably say, right, well, we're doing shows in this area and you're doing this bit, and we won't
fair enough
infringe.
Yeah, and I guess
honestly, the Vault is absolutely amazing. It's got all these old white dwarfs in it. You've got the entire Imperial Armor books. So much stuff in there. The Horus Heresy Modeling Masterclass is really an amazing thing on there. They've taken all the rules stuff out of the codexes, but I mean, Yeah.
Yeah, they're irrelevant anyway, aren't they, at this point?
But all the lore is just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. The
Oh,
stuff on it.
right. Yeah, okay.
I love the vault, but I'm the idiot who played both games, so it makes sense for me. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Slight diversion.
Okay, moving on. You can nominate your Warhammer heroes again. And we're expecting this to be a massive rush to nominate the Outer Circle for being such a bastion of positivity in this hobby.
Oh, Mr. B, controversy.
Gone,
gone
guns
there.
blazing.
It's gone there. I was, I think people who organise things locally and unsung heroes who, organise events for people in the local area without looking for any kind of gratification.
Our time in the sun is wilted.
We do know a lot of people out there who would definitely be worthy of this award.
20 hours a month.
Be they
podcasters,
the content creators and event organisers. There's a lot out there. I don't think we'll name anybody because
I would name Age of Empire.
I think
nominate us. Yes,
it should be like when everyone was trying to stop the X Factor winning. Christmas #1.
Like
it should be like a protest vote. So vote us. Vote for us as your protest.
With the Rage Against the Machine.
We'll be the Rage Against the Machine of Warhammer Heroes. Completely unneeded, unnecessary protest vote. But hey, we'll take them any way you can. Fight the power. That'll stick it to them. Think of all the money there.
That would teach them not to send us a free copy of.
Just think of all the money. Think of how embarrassed they'll be when we turn up to get some sort of award. Us three chump. And,
just think about that. Folks.
Just think that's going to be
in there. Graham will probably be in some sort of baby grow, and
these faces
like George Dawes from Shooting
these
Stars.
faces on their PR. Just think how embarrassing that'd be. And you will hate Games Workshop, really. But this is the only way you can really prove it. So come on, let's start the movement now. We'll get manatee costumes, and we'll have our photos taken.
Yeah. Tell you what, we would do that if we got voted. We would all dress up as manatees for
all the promo stuff.
For the promo stuff.
Absolutely would do that.
We should put a thing on change.org straight away.
It might be
for the three amigos. Yeah. Anyway,
might be like the least voted on thing on there.
We could well be, but you never know. There's always, like I say, there's always some people just want to watch the world burn.
Exactly. Mostly, I feel that could be our listeners.
That could be our listener base.
I've met them, so it's a possibility.
It costs nothing to vote, and
no. Take you 10 minutes. You know where your vote needs to go. It's all good.
Yeah. But
cool.
I guess if there are people you do want to vote for, do vote for them because
yes, us basically. Everybody else can do one.
We do actually need some heresy people.
Who are these suckers?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay. I know Mr. B gets very uncomfortable actually when we say good things about what we do. That's the problem. He's the most self-effacing person I've ever met.
This show so the 31st of January is the deadline. Okay, so this show needs to go out with enough time for everyone to vote.
It will.
Get your finger out, Mr. B.
It will. I promise it will.
There's no way we're going to be Warhammer heroes without you putting the extra mile in.
Group, shall we?
Yeah, I'll start a thing. Yeah, I'll put the stupid photo up, and we'll get people to click on that, and that will accidentally link them to the nominated hero.
Yeah, that's a very good plan. Okay, cool.
So, did you say rude photo?
No, the stupid one I just made literally while we.
Oh right, okay,
while we just stated the union.
Had enough of that. We've had enough of that with the various groups on Facebook.
Who would have thought that was a thing?
Honestly, over Christmas it was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
I thought that if I just put my Edge of Empire email address in, if people were less likely to see the emails come in. It was an honest mistake.
That's just strange. I was on the Heresy Northeast one, which was like an open group, and clearly they know their market. Let's put it that way. I don't think it was an accident. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I unfortunately saw some of those pictures. I don't think so. That was just weird.
If you're going to sell that kind of content to a particular demographic, I'm pretty sure they went, what sorts of groups should we target? I know. Okay. Anyway,
just so you know, to vote for your Warhammer hero, you only have to answer 5 questions.
Okay.
But you do have to write 250. Oh no, and you have to write 250 words about us.
Really? That seems like a big.
So you've got to do
entry.
your name, your email address.
Yes.
What is the name of your Warhammer hero? Age of Empire podcast, obviously. Of course. What is their email address? info@ageofempire.co.uk is the email address, just so you remember. And there's the podcaster or YouTuber. I mean, or hobby expert, whichever you prefer. We don't mind. We'll take either.
Maybe
Event organizer. Well, we
all
did
of
do
these
that.
things.
We might come back. Social media influencer. Well, just tick all the boxes. That's all of us, basically.
That's all of us. Local community
And
champion.
then you've got to write
That's
250 words. I mean,
what we could do is we could create 250
nice
words. We could create 250 words, right?
Yeah.
And put them.
And just
Just
copy and
people
paste
just
it in.
copy and paste it in, which will save all the hassle.
Okay.
We could totally.
We can.
Mr.
we
B used to
can
work.
totally ruin.
Mr. B, you used to work for the Tories, so you know how to rig elections. How do we do this? Gerrymandering.
Get me Murdoch on the phone. He owes me a favour or two. Front page of the Sun this time tomorrow.
Thumb ring turning up.
Yeah.
But there was
We
no
just
election.
need a smear story on the Imperial Truth, and we'll be there. I'm sure that's probably not hard to find.
Or Imperial
Yeah,
Lies.
Imperial Lies. Yeah, brilliant. Mate.
Yeah,
These
that's it.
headlines right
Fair,
themselves.
he would be a decent guy.
Don't even go there.
Yeah,
If he gets one, that's it. I'm never doing a
Fake.
podcast again.
Fake news podcasting.
I'm going to go and start my Gundam podcast directly after at that point.
So yeah,
Actually-
nice words about us. Just a little take, and we can.
Yeah.
I think
Bask in the glory, but also you would secretly know that you had planted you'd fought one for the man.
the common man.
Yeah, that's right.
Paid
Yeah.
£37
None of you-
5 model.
None of your flipping Malta-based Davos events. It would just. This is the fight for the common people.
Right, shall we move on?
No, because it's such a great subject.
Come
Flagging
on.
up other people.
It's
move on.
us.
We're gonna move on.
I think
We've already made enough enemy. Let's
I
not
think
bring Phosphex
Ed-
Party into this.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh, that was funny. That was pretty funny. Like I've got to say.
We like
Come
us
on.
party.
Where's
Their
your
top
next-
chat.
Yeah, we do. Bless the person for saying how much they enjoy our podcast. But
I'm
Are
bored.
you actually
yeah, don't
We
don't
offered
tag
them-
him.
them? He
We
tagged
offered an
them.
internet hug.
Absolutely amnesty for that particular
Tagged
person.
them.
Anyway, come on, let's get moving.
Yeah, come on.
I think Edge of Empire.
You got to do the next
should
section.
win oh right, because I'm trying to work out 250 words.
Just chuck it into. Actually, you could do the
Oh, where's your AI? Mr.
AI
B?
when you
Give me
need it,
your
Mr.
AI.
B. Yeah. Why should give me 250 words for a nomination for award for Age of Empire podcast? There you go. AI it. Perfect. Job done. Automation for the nation.
Right, what am I talking about? Edge of okay, no, not Edge of Empire TV, not yet. Warhammer TV shared some winter themed painting videos this Christmas, which are actually pretty good. You got videos for snow tank camouflage, white hair, beards, and fur, and ice covered bases.
The ice covered
Okay.
faces is actually really good. Really good video. If I was doing that.
It's a new person that I don't know doing the video.
Oh, look, they've actually shown them as well.
Yeah,
It's a really, really good.
the next
um,
internet celebrity.
I'm just looking at the tank one. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Using
yeah, the tanks are good. The ice based one
Blue
is really
tack.
good because it's like oh yeah.
See, white fur, I think, is pretty difficult to do, and that looks really good. To be fair,
good reference materials there. Good shout, Mr. B. Well played. Deep cut / no cut studios. Hit it out of the park again. No cut studios. That's more advertising we're giving you. Just want to make that point clear for the 300th time. We're promoting this new line of not a moon mat. That's not a moon. Quite a famous line from Star Wars. That looks great. That's fantastic.
Gee,
Right, Mr. B. Out of the park. They have knocked it.
Yeah, I was thinking like Mechanic and Forge World or something.
Yeah,
like
or inside a big, space station.
Yeah.
For a Zone Mortalis-esque thing.
that. Oh yeah, Zon Mortalis. That would look really good. Yeah.
That would look smashing. That's a nice mat. Well played.
Yeah. So a mouse pad, 4x4 would be 56.50. Sorry, 56.90 euros. It's not bad.
Okay, not bad.
I'm like half in the mind of, do I want to continue buying tiles for Zone Mortalis? Because they're like 40 quid now. And I need 2 more sets, or just buy a mat.
Maybe a mat might be a better option.
I might get a mat. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right. We got a teasing video for Heresy in 2024. Confirmed that. I think it confirmed that the Solar Auxilia are coming in 28mm form, and we're going to get a Command Squad video. Although that was kind of said at Warhammer Fest in the long-term plan, they kind of said Command Squad was on there. So, but yeah, you've got silhouettes. You've got silhouettes of the commands of the guy in the Command Squad with the banner. You've got the silhouettes of those Sentinel things from the Solar Auxilia, and definitely one of the Sentinel guys, not Sentinel guys, the Solar Auxilia guys with the that particular Vexelia they have on the back, isn't it? So it's a distinctive silhouette. So yeah, so 28mm Solar Auxilia. So when I saw that, I was literally like Ralph Wiggum on the bus, chuckling, "I'm in danger."
Good old Ralph. I'm in danger.
Okay.
But then they also said Chaos Dwarves are coming for Age of Sigmar, so I'm like, oh yes, very much in danger.
Okay. Very good.
Like my first army as a kid.
Okay. I have no idea what that is, but that looks great.
Abnett has spilled some of the beans.
He's Abnett now, is he? Not even.
No, that's it.
What we all know
office.
We know who he is. Dan Abnett, writer of many of our favourite Heresy books, James Workshop books, comic series as well, Guardians of the Galaxy, and
I think he
had input on the first film as well.
I think he got his start on Care Bear comics, I think, if I ever remember correctly.
What a contrast that's what a journey.
It's a talent there, isn't there? Going from Care Bear to the dark, grim dark 40k.
There's
2018
a video goes with it as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yes, I haven't watched that yet because I didn't realize it existed. So I should watch that possibly before I go to sleep later on.
I'm kind of halfway through it. Been sort of watching off and on by doing various bits and bobs.
Well, worth a watch.
It's surprising. It's surprising the stuff he's actually done. He's done a bunch of Doctor Who stuff and Torchwood.
He's like one of these prolific writers, isn't he? I think he just has so many ideas and just constantly writes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes. His run on Aquaman is incredible. He's done X-Men, Punisher. It's all over the place. And then Judge Dredd is just like his Judge Dredd stuff is great.
I'm just going to ask a very quick question.
Yeah.
Just going on to further down the notes. Why is there a thing with a load of random numbers?
I don't know that.
Yeah, Chris EOE, it says.
I don't know what I did.
Okay, you've done something. I thought it was somehow related to the section.
I don't know what.
Okay.
I'm going to...
Yeah, just delete those. Friday the 19th, for those of you keeping a track of the concept at this time. Warhammer preview from the Las Vegas Open. Unfortunately, once again, our tickets to the Las Vegas Open, including first class travel, have not arrived as special celebrity guests. But we, there's still time.
We're Warhammer heroes.
I'd love to go to Las Vegas. And I'd love to go to the Las Vegas Open to see up there. It's a huge amount of fun.
I'd like to go to the Las Vegas Open, but Las Vegas itself.
My concern about
I don't gamble. I don't drink.
My concern about going to Vegas with you gentlemen is that I can see it ending up like The Hangover, but not because we'll have got absolutely smashed, but because we'll get lost, end up in some random place.
Yeah.
And next thing we know, we're in the desert somewhere and one of us is missing.
Or we'll be looking for tickets. We'll be looking for tickets to Moody Blues and we'll end up with Celine Dion.
That's possible.
You won't see Celine Dion because she has trapped in her body syndrome where it is now.
Oh, no.
She has a thing where she no longer has control of some of her muscles.
It's truth. That sucks.
Well,
But yeah,
I
I'd like
have
to go
no
to
idea
Las
if it's
Vegas,
on
and
news.
I'm not a big gambler either. I'm absolutely, but I would like to go just to experience Las Vegas. And going to Las Vegas and
I
playing,
would go for a
playing
weekend.
games,
I wouldn't
yeah.
go for like longer than that.
No, I agree. But it'd be good fun. Anyway, maybe next year, we'll get the tickets through. Once we're Warhammer Heroes, like you say, Chris.
I
People
mean,
will be
it's just
queuing up.
exactly. You got to make some PR appearances. I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of it because
They have a big game and everything there.
I just don't know if I want to travel that far. I mean, going up to your end of the country is kind of enough for me. Generally, traveling
Probably
across
takes as long to get to fly to Las Vegas as it does to get here.
How many direct flights are there direct flights between Las Vegas and
Probably from Heathrow,
probably
Heathrow,
is there.
Probably is, yeah. I'd have thought so. It is a fair old journey, like you're absolutely right.
Vegas
But,
to Heathrow.
You know, also there's the whole
Virgin Atlantic do it, don't they?
Explaining to our respective other halves that, oh, by the way, we're going to Las Vegas for a weekend to play wargaming.
I think they'd be all right with that.
Oh yeah, Annie wouldn't care. To be fair, do you know what? It's cheaper than I thought. So, like £500 for a flight.
That does seem quite cheap.
It does seem cheap, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, anyway,
everyone's suddenly going.
Now that's not quite bad, is it? All we need is some accommodation. So if there's anybody from Las Vegas wants to put us up in Nevada, that's fine too. Okay.
30.
Anyway, what are they going to be?
So that is with like 13-hour flights.
Okay.
They said Horus Heresy, so I would expect possibly the Command Squad or the Solar Auxilia.
Okay.
I would like it to be the Solar Auxilia, but I suspect we'll get the Command Squad. I think they're going to be. I think 40K is going to get more of a focus this time.
Very good. Okay.
But it's like 5 a.m. in the morning on Friday, the 19th.
You'll still be up, Mr. B.
Probably.
The man never sleeps.
No,
my sleep pattern is all over the place.
If your physique was slightly different, I would be 100% sure you were Batman.
Fair enough.
And let's face it, Hartlepool needs a Batman, to be fair.
Hartlepool. Yeah, you're not. You're not the.
If there's anywhere,
Batman it needs.
If Batman rocked up to the UK and said, "Where can I go?"
Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough's worth.
The whole area, you could cover both areas. You're not far from Middlesbrough. You have a Batmobile, for goodness sake.
Batman of the North.
You could strike fear into villains across the kind of Teesside area.
There's a new film coming out set in Teesside. Apparently, it's a big action movie. What was it called? Jackdaw or something.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Games Workshop have revealed.
Is that like a rubbish version of Kez?
Apparently, it's got something to do with kidnapping, and Jenna Coleman's in it and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, that sounds about right for the North.
Yeah. Okay, so Games Workshop have released their 2023-2024 half-year report, and they said they're exploring options for a fourth factory in Nottingham as part of the.
They made a few quid, didn't they?
Quite a few. Long-term capacity planning to ensure it can meet rising customer demand for Warhammer products, because literally every flipping new release, it's like, oh, we don't have enough.
Yeah, but it's interesting in that article that I think that I shared with you on. They sort of had a chat with Rick Priestley, and he was in his sort of autobiography thing, was talking about in the 90s, Games Workshop nearly went under because they overproduced.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably still on that. I would be, I think they're probably quite cautious about setting up a
I'd also point out that the Age of Sigmar starter box from the current edition, you can still buy that in some stores.
I mean, I think the thing you have to bear in mind is that they're now going to be running several mainline games, because you're going to have Warhammer 40K, Heresy, you're going to have Age of Sigmar, Old World, plus everything else, plus Imperialis. Yeah. There's a lot of product they've got to make.
I think they'll have to sort something out for that.
It's one of those difficult things, isn't it? Because with machinery or automation,
it's a lot.
One assumes that yes, it's a lot of money, but also they don't have the head count if they're going down the automation route. If you see what I mean. So whereas previously, maybe in the 90s, they would have needed a workforce of X to run 3 or 4 factories. And again, I know nothing about manufacturing. I would imagine with automation, that will reduce the number of people, so they could have 4 factories. But if the market changed, they can just close one factory or mothball it until market conditions improve. without it being like a huge hit on
possibly, but it is
people's livelihoods.
But it is a big investment, and it'll be years before it comes online. They've made records for profitability and revenue, and Leviathan, the 40k starter set a new sales benchmark for a single month.
90. So that's what their profit in that half a year.
It's ridiculous.
Profit, 90 odd million quid. Core revenue.
They also acknowledged the warehouse problems that have been plaguing the company since 2023. They've sort of explained that this is partly due to legacy IT systems, because some of them systems like 20 odd years old, and these new robots and stuff they've got in the warehouse, they're trying to integrate 20-year-old systems with new stuff, and it's like not working.
Never do it. Should have rewritten it.
So
it's always a tricky thing. It's always a tricky decision to make.
So they started a 3-year project, and they're going to basically rip out the old 20-year-old systems and introduce new ones, which is obviously in any company GW size a massive project. I mean, obviously in the UK we've got the whole post office thing going on, and it's like people are saying, why don't they get rid of the system? They're still using it. And it's like, do you know how difficult that would be?
So doing new warehousing in Australia as well, by the look of it.
Yes, I read something about that.
Okay,
but again,
bigger warehouse in Australia.
They're not making stuff there. They're just
shipping it over.
Shipping it over.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But if they're holding more stock there, then
isn't the only place they manufacture stuff is in England? They don't manufacture in the US or anything.
They used to manufacture certain hobby products, basically scenery, endless spells, and stuff like that, in China. They no longer do so.
Okay.
All their boxes, paperwork, it's all made in China.
Right. But the
plastics,
all the models are made in the UK.
All the plastics, all the resins made in the UK.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Interesting stuff.
Yeah. So
thanks for that bit of analysis, Chris.
Bonjour. Man reading on Tinternet. Where am I now? And finally, yes, the sad passing of Brian Ansell, the co-creator of WFB, Fantasy Battle, and leader of the company throughout the 1980s. Ian Livingston, who was also one of the co-creators of the company. Brian's Steve Jackson and Ian set up Citadel Miniatures in 1978 as part of Games Workshop. He was a craftsman, dynamic entrepreneur who drove the growth of Games Workshop to the next level. And without Brian, Warhammer would not have launched. So, yeah.
So he came from the sort of manufacturing side, didn't he? From the Citadel Miniatures side.
Yeah.
Yep. Led that management buyout and then turned Games Workshop into what it is. Well,
today.
Yeah, pretty much today. Yeah. So, wrote a lot of those old games and.
Wow. Because you don't hear much about him in comparison to Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston, do you? Or you didn't?
Well, I think you got to bear in mind that they're still out there doing stuff.
That's true.
In the public eye all the time. So,
but that's sad, isn't it? Sad passing.
Yeah, he sort of retired and ran his own little company that made sort of very specific old historical stuff and some former Games Workshop models that weren't sort of 40k or fantasy. So,
okay.
Cool. Nice models there. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, sad, like you say, sad passing. Cool. On to epic news. Which is about epic stuff, not about actual news that is epic.
Could be epic.
Could be. Fancy recreating some of the most epic battles of the Horus Heresy? Well, Warhammer community decided to help you out with some suggestions on Warcom. Did it really?
Yeah, they were just like, I think it was sort of like the launch sort of period, and they were like, if you want to do Galaxy in Flames, this is what you got to do. If you want to do, you want to do Isfahan, this is what you do. And
because the first book's come out, isn't it? The first one, but that's going to be Beta Garmon, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah, Beta Garmon, the Titan Death.
Yeah, so that's doing its third outing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. Yeah. They've mentioned Titan Death in there, don't they? Actually, looking at the obviously they kind of match the books to a sort of potential scenario, sort of thing. Okay, cool. Oh, your Talon's got infantry, which seems.
I mean, there was some infantry at Talon, just not a lot.
It's all underground, wasn't it? I suppose. Anyway, very cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Warhammer Plus is getting Legion's Imperialis battle report, so you can watch them there. Actually, it's actually not too bad. I liked it. And the two presenters, Nick and Cy, gave us reasons why they enjoyed making it. So it's basically, it's nostalgia. It's cool and it's fine. Which is awesome.
Nice. Chris.
Sorry, yep.
Mm.
We got an article on Warhammer Community on how to play the game, just sort of not an in-depth, but
rough.
Give you an idea of what's required in each phase, how the phases interact, which is good. That's it. They've been pretty good about getting information about it, and
I think that big delay sort of caused a bit of a
I
guess they could launch some more stuff because of that delay, couldn't they?
Yeah.
The previews since we last recorded were the Dracosian Transports, Malkador Furnace, and Baldor Tank Hunters, all for the Solar Auxiliary, obviously. These look pretty natty. I think I would probably go with Solar Auxiliary as an army to do rather than Legion Astartes. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm still not 100%.
I was saying before the show, I've got the air support for Solar Auxilia.
Yeah.
From Aeronautica. So I'm like, maybe I should
I never considered that the Malkador would be a part of this game. I don't know why. It makes perfect sense that it would be.
Yeah.
But it never crossed my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Fantastic.
quite nice. They're nicely painted, actually. I mean, considering how small those models are.
Oh, yeah.
That's a heck of a job.
It
Very
is.
good. Okay.
And of course, it's getting a display at Warhammer World, which will see the Blood Angels taking on the Iron Warriors. I'm off to Warhammer World end of next month, so
Okay.
I'm going down for Megan's Nana's 95th birthday, and we're
Playing Games Day with her, is it?
Yes, she enjoys the
Sorry?
Blood Angel.
No, we're going to a party down in Oxford, and then on the way back, we're stopping at Warhammer World we're stopping for a night in Nottingham and going to Warhammer
nice.
World the next day. So
Lovely.
I'm looking forward. I haven't been in the thing this year, so should be cool.
It's cool.
Well, I said this year, last year, but it's a nice looking board.
I mean, you can make a really cool thing there, couldn't you? That's the thing I think with Imperialis is that it's that whole big epic game.
Yeah,
it's going to look great.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that at some point. Okay,
it's a shame none of those infantry, the jump infantry, seem to be in the air. They could have done that with a bit of wine or something.
Probably.
Okay.
The Heavy Metal team shares some tips on how to paint the tiny devils.
Yeah, because I think that is sort of like.
I mean, I would assume paint and a brush and some application of paint to model.
That would work.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think they're doing recess shades on their stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
I mean,
and making their own shades.
I mean, on smaller models like that, you can get away with doing a bit more with the shades and stuff, and that'll.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's kind of a bit easier and a bit less noticeable.
My Rhino was mostly contrast, which worked actually. It worked, and I think this is definitely how the way I would do my Ultramarines.
I mean, I'm slightly concerned that those infantry marines there, or those infantry auxilia, have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 layers on them, or elements.
That's just on the green.
Some people need to get lives. That's what I'm saying.
But I think I'll be doing this.
All the tanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Also, we had members of the community sharing their Legion Imperialis shenanigans. Our kits were obviously lost in the post. So we had lots of people putting lots of stuff in. They all look really cool. Some lovely models in there, I must say. Not quite sure about the fluorescent tanks, but it's all good.
I'm guessing we got some salamanders there and Emperor's Children, but
they're very bright, aren't they?
They're very bright. They are.
But the thing is, bear in mind, these are probably taken in a light box as well. So that with probably 3 or 4 really bright sort of white lights around them. So that's only going to enhance.
They've got an interesting effect on them. Actually, looking at them, they've got a kind of like a dappled effect, which is quite cool. But yeah, I think they would look great on a battlefield actually, because actually having brighter things is no bad thing with the very dark scenery. So yeah. Emma Svensson,
yeah.
Dice and Demons, they look cool. There's all sorts in there. Howard T from the Imperial Tricks as well, got his Solar Auxiliary stuff in there. Some nice
I quite like this diorama at the bottom here.
Yeah, I do too. Chris Wildman as well, who we know. From
Jessica, Jessica. There's a few people we know in here.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
that is nice, isn't it? That Titan's awesome. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. So congratulations everybody there. Some beautiful models. Very inspiring stuff.
Definitely. And finally, in Epic news, the first campaign book is going to take us back to the Titan Death in the Garmon cluster with the Great Slaughter, and it included Titan and Knight only mode called, wait for it, Titan Death.
Or as it's otherwise known, Adeptus Titanicus.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Use the Garmon book for the game.
That was. I mean, this is another thing. What are they going to do with Titanicus now?
It's done.
Going to be welded into?
It's part of Epic
Legion
now.
Imperialis, so they wouldn't have a separate. You would use the rules in this rather than
does
the.
Does it even have a thing on the website any longer?
I don't think it does anymore. I think they took it off. Okay. They've essentially removed Titanicus as a separate game, and now we only have
Legion Imperialis.
Well,
Okay. I'm sure there's probably some people that aren't happy about that, because I guess that the Titan rules in Imperialis are less granular than they are in Adeptus Titanicus.
I mean, you can still play it if you got your book.
Yeah, true enough. But it's just not being supported anymore. So
yeah,
fair enough.
That's basically the crack. It's just they're not making.
Oh, it still has. There is still a thing.
Is there?
There's Titanicus and Legions Imperialis as separate choices on the.
Brilliant!
In the store still.
So it's still a thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, no,
okay,
I can't imagine you're going to see any new publications for it anytime soon.
I can't imagine. Okay, and that is our Epic news. So how about we move on and talk about Aunt Sally's FAQ endings?
FAQ
Aunt
endings.
Sally's getting
FAQ'd. No, that's all wrong. Welcome back to Aunt Sally's Happy Endings, the FAQ edition. So anybody who plays this game will have realised that I'm somewhat surprised. I did bottle it. You're absolutely right. This is Aunt Sally's gets FAQs.
Aunt Sally got fact.
Totally fact. That's what happened here. So we had some changes to the game in all of its entirety. Some winners, some losers, as always with these changes. So we're going to kind of run through them as we stumble across them. Mr. B has written a lovely section via his AI partner to sort of go into some details here. So according to Mr. B,
you missed out the big one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, we'll come on to it in a second.
Yeah.
Go on.
Practical elements and reactions are certain impractical elements in reactions. Bunch of stuff that you can do instead of firing a weapon. In the past, these actions could be performed as reactions. Yeah. So this was always a thing. So yeah, for example, the argument was that because things like using cyberthurgy or the Cognos Signum were instead of a shooting attack, you could therefore use them as part of a reaction.
Yeah. Now I never thought this was
legit, but it was never kind of clear. Actually, weirdly enough, this came up the other day about using Few of the Legion as a reaction, but I don't think it applies because that's still a shooting attack. So
yeah, I don't think it applies to it. Yeah.
So yeah, if somebody shoots you and you haven't moved your tactical squad, they can Few of the Legion as a reaction. I think. Mm-hmm. Let us know if we think we got that wrong, because I did play it like that the other night. Anyway, so the past you could these reactions. So for example, allowing Battlesmith to repair a vehicle as part of a reaction, which doesn't seem right. Cyberthurgy, whatever, summon demons, all this kind of stuff. So they've basically tightened that up and says, if it's a shooting attack, it's a shooting attack. Several other things, minor issues. Stunned zooming flyers now move directly forward.
Yep, which they should have done. They should have always done.
Cool. That would have been some definite Aunt Salliness going, no, they shouldn't go forward. They go backwards or sideways. Independent can join characters.
Well, no, it's just like you could like do your maneuvers and stuff with them, and it was like,
really? Yeah. Independent characters can join units capable of infiltration if they choose to set up in your deployment zone. So that was another argument, because if you've got infiltrate, it's not one of these rules where it's like if you have one model, everybody else gets it. They've all got to have infiltrate. So they can still be part of that unit as long as that unit sets up in the normal deployment way, not by infiltration. Comprehensive section has been added to delineate, definitely not Mr. B's words, the specific actions permitted and prohibited upon arrival from reserves.
There is not a day that goes by that Mr. B doesn't send me a message that involves the word delineate. He would forever
you're doing him a huge disservice, Mr. B.
I do use like Grammarly to help me make stuff make sense.
It's very good, mate. This includes clarification.
According to Warlass, my writing is
Warlath. Is that
a new Games
Workshop another podcast?
Spin-off?
Yeah, I was going to say Warlath. Welcome.
No, it's also.
Warlath.
Come on, ladies. So there's got to be an all-female heresy 40k podcast out there, and if there is, send us a link and we
can publicize it on our 17
absolutely
listeners.
And if it's not called Warlass and it's not from the Northeast, then
we should definitely do some auditions like X Factor.
I don't think we should be doing that, because let's not talk about us doing auditions for women. That just feels.
Yeah.
We're getting into casting couch territory here, and
nobody was going there.
I'm not quite as far as that, but I don't think that's the sort of professive nature that we need to be the judges of whether they.
Point.
Well, my concern is that Graham ends up turning into like Harvey Weinstein or something.
Where is this coming from, Mr. B?
I'm kidding. That would probably be me.
Look, I can foresee that 30 seconds of this podcast is definitely being cut out at some
definitely
point.
Needs to be cut
it's going to be the last 30 seconds that just stay out.
Yeah,
I will cut them.
Thank you. Okay. Anyway, this includes calculations on when interceptor reactions can take place and the limited circumstances in which assault is allowed. Essentially, ruling out assault from a land raider that outflanks. Quite right too. That was a big discussion. In fact, one of Aunt Sally's happy endings was around can you assault from a land raider that outflanks. So let's have a quick little look-see at them and just.
I don't understand why you would want to outflank from a.
I can think of a million reasons why you want a land raider to outflank. Because you can move it on and then they can jump out and then they can assault, which basically gives you a.
I'm just trying to think where would I give a unit with infiltrate to a land raider? What units would I?
No, outflank. So
outflank. That's what I mean. Yeah. Well, who do I give that to?
I think there was always this argument about dedicated transports. Do dedicated transports get the infiltrate? But they don't. But things like Alfarius, for example, can give 3 units infiltrate. So you could give a squad of.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Terminators infiltrate. Give the land raider infiltrate, and they can basically outflank on. But I think it does say they can't basically assault from outflank. So
fair enough.
Just looking at the stuff that they've changed. So what have we got here? Beginning to the end of the third paragraph in reactions, when making a reaction that allows you to make shooting attack, which we just talked about, you can only make a shooting attack. So you can't do things like Battlesmith. Active player resolved all charge rolls that unit, whether successful or not, but before any models are moved. The active player may choose to expend one of the reactions of that phase and have the unit either. Okay, that's interesting. The active player may choose to expend one of the reactions of that phase to have the unit targeted by the charge, either overwatch or hold the line. I think that's basically saying that's all you can do. Dangerous terrain. The model is only required to make a maximum of 1 dangerous terrain test during a phase. Okay, that's interesting. So if you, for example, had the situation where you had jump packs and you leapt off from dangerous terrain and landed in dangerous terrain in the movement phase, you only need to make 1 dangerous terrain test, not 1 for taking off and 1 for landing.
I kind of always thought that was the case.
Oh, I used to make 2.
A model is only required to make a maximum of 1 dangerous terrain test
during any phase. Yeah.
Any subsequent dangerous terrain tests it would be required to make during that phase are assumed to have
Automatic pass.
automatically been passed.
Yeah. Well, that is a change.
I always thought that was the case, and weirdly, I've always played it like that. But all right, fair enough.
No, I've definitely done it. If you jump and land, it's 2 dangerous terrain tests.
I think maybe I'm remembering an old 40k FAQ from years ago.
That's also super useful for things like, the Death Guards, Craftworld Death Guard, and their fantastic ability to make dangerous terrain everywhere.
Yeah.
That would be another one. Moving between area terrains, having to take
same with Dark Angels and their
the Escalon
imperative. Yeah,
good. I'm glad, because that is a right pain in the backside. Crew stun. We talked about this. If you're a zooming fly, you go straight on at your movement characteristic. Graviton pulse. The graviton rules are so bizarre. Instead of rolling to wound normally with this weapon, any model without the vehicle dreadnought autonomo unit type suffers a hit from the weapon with this. Must instead roll under their strength on a D6 or suffer a roll. Okay, I thought it was 2D6.
So, do you want to look at graviton on
the
actual
rules?
Well, the FAQ, says, so.
Yeah, no, I was going to say how it's changed.
Let's see what it's what the thing was. Give me 2 seconds.
No worries. Come back to it. I'll just have a look. What have they changed with Haywire? It's vehicle dreadnought automata. So basically, automata previously were immune from Haywire, weren't they?
They've made Haywire more useful.
D6 rather than rolling to wound for arbitration. So 2 to 5. 1, it does nothing. Glancing hit suffers a wound, but you can take invulnerable saves. If you get a 6, it's a penetrating hit. Any other model takes 1 wound, no save or damage mitigation wasn't taken against them. So it's auto wounding. Shock pulse.
So graviton pulse, just very quickly.
Yeah.
So the wording now is, instead of rolling to wound normally with this weapon, any model without the vehicle, dreadnought, or automata unit type that suffers a hit from a weapon with this special rule must instead roll under their strength on a D6 or suffer a wound. Originally, it was, instead of rolling to wound normally with this weapon, any non-vehicle model that suffers a hit from a weapon with this special rule must instead roll under their strength on a D6 or suffer a wound. A roll of a 6 always counts as a failure. I'm assuming the rest of the rules are the same. So they've just specified.
So that basically means that dreadnoughts or automata are kind of immune to it.
Yeah. Or they're immune to this effect.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Independent character without the infiltrate special rule cannot join a unit that has been deployed using infiltrate. They can. Basically, we talked about that. Shock pulse. So vehicle, dreadnought, or automata suffers a penetrating hit or unsaved wound from this may only make snapshots. So basically, you can stop dreadnoughts from shooting by shooting shock pulse up. Which I wasn't sure you didn't know you could do that, but good to see.
Any model with the vehicle, dreadnought, or automata unit type that suffers a penetrating hit or unsaved wound from attack with the special rule might only make snapshots. Anyone that suffers a penetrating hit from attack with the special rule may only make snapshots.
Part of your action during its next phase. Okay, cool. All right, magic.
Because originally it was until the end of its controlling player's next turn.
Yeah. So then there's some sort of errata or some general questions that have been updated and asked. Can a vehicle attempt to ram while making a reaction or advanced reaction that allows it to move? No. So somebody moves towards you couldn't then ram them as a advanced reaction.
Yeah.
Reaction or advanced reaction can be made in response to an unit being moved or anything with a specific distance followed. Can the reaction or advanced reaction be made when a unit is deployed or otherwise placed within a specified distance, but it's not specified as having moved? So this, I think, is you deep strike something. So let's say you deep struck Imperial Fists or Space Wolves, and then you move towards them. They then use their advanced reaction to charge you, or World Eaters. They can't do that.
Yeah.
That is not allowed. So basically, they count as having moved, I think. Otherwise, placed in specified
that
distance.
reaction or advanced reaction be made when a unit is deployed, otherwise placed on the split?
If a reaction or advanced reaction can be made in response to an enemy unit being moved. Right.
So basically, so you could deep strike Imperial Fists, and they can't use their charge reaction.
Yes.
To attack the army, the unit that has just been deep struck.
Yeah, that's my impression. Yeah. Okay. if at the end of initiative step there are no remaining engaged models on either side of that combat, the remaining remaining initiative steps resolved.
Didn't realise that was a thing to worry about.
I guess it's so if you were throwing initiative 1, going initiative 1, for example, but they weren't actually engaged, which I guess means you were outside of being within 2 inches of a model.
Yeah.
But you could then say, well, they can't do anything because they're not engaged at this point. But if they would still, you still go down to initiative 1 and then move them their 3 inches, which would bring them into engagement. Maybe the argument was that they shouldn't move.
Yeah.
It's anywhere that I can see around that. Somebody kind of Aunt Sallying the hell out of that one. Is there a limit on the number of optional attachments that I can include in my army? No. Soup up. Have some Titans. Have some Knights. You name it, mate.
You go for it. Just have a big old
Assassins, whatever. Chuck it in.
Assassins aren't an optional attachment. They take an HQ.
Yeah, they just
okay. So this one, which I must admit I've always assumed was the case. If a model making attack with a weapon with the barrage special rule has line of sight to their target, can you choose to fire the weapon indirectly as long as the target is still over the minimum range for that attack? Yes. Why you'd want to do it? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I suppose if it hits the side armor of something.
Yeah, scatter it just a bit.
Because that would be sensible. So let's say, for example, and I'm just using a hypothetical here, there's a spine in front of you. You've got a blast weapon that can be fired at barrage. Normally, if you can see it, you fire it normally without barrage. But it's saying that optionally you can fire it barrage, but then it would hit the side armor, not the front armor. So I can see that being useful.
Definitely.
Okay, if a weapon with a barrage special is not firing directly, are the hits inflicted on a vehicle on the side armor? No. So there you go. That would make sense then.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Anybody else want to do these? If a fly unit doesn't have a hover unit subtype arise on the battlefield is in deep strike. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Special rule. Is it treated as having moved more than its movement characteristic? Yes, it is. So doesn't have hover, arrives using deep strike. Is it treated as having moved more than its movement characteristic? Okay. I guess that's to stop people jumping out of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Trying to think where that's applicable. Probably has something to do with the Thunderhawk. I think it's got hover.
Big birds. Yeah, most of those things have got
hover, haven't they? I think there is something weird that hasn't got hover. Anyway.
2 moments. I'll have a quick old peek through the lists. Give me 2. Carry on.
Yeah, if armor penetration roll is made.
I think has.
If an armor penetration roll is made for an attack that has the Sunder and Rending special rules, this is a good one, and I've been done by this. If an armor penetration roll is made for an attack that has the Sunder and Rending special rules, does Sunder allow you to reroll the additional D3 granted by Rending? And I've house ruled this as no in the past, and indeed it is no. So if you had a weapon with Rending, the argument was, I've got Sunder, so Sunder allows me to reroll armor pen. But the D3 additional isn't an armor pen, it's a strength change. So I always said no anyway. But yeah, people have tried that one on in the past and re-rolled the Rending, which is not right. So yeah, that's good to know. They've actually clarified a definite Aunt Sally there. Model with a Primarch with Demon special rules. Take note, Chris. Or the Precision Strikes X special rule is locked in a challenge. Oh yeah, this is a really good one. Can wounds inflicted by its attacks be allocated to models that are not in that challenge? No. And that was the argument, I think, with Primarchs. So it makes it easier to tie up a Primarch now because you can sacrifice your Sergeant, you can chuck your Chosen Warriors in, or if you've got Caesarean or the Phoenix Guard, they have the character type anyway. So they can basically take those challenges. So just be warned. You need to, although the wounds that you would have inflicted do count for combat resolution, they don't spill over into the rest of the group. So yeah, that makes.
I can't find any flyers that don't have
hover. Yeah, I'm sure there's some weirdness there. Okay,
probably.
just to be clear, folks, that
Might be in the legacies.
Just watch out for being challenged and your really cool unit that deals hundreds of attacks being effectively nullified. So have I done this? I don't think I've ever done this. Not with I might have done it with Chosen Warriors against something particularly horrific, but I haven't. I tend not to do it unless it's really dire straits. To be honest with you, I think like characters, for example, using characters on the Caesarean type does make them very, very strong. Do effects which treat models as being further away, such as Alpha Legion or the Distort Warp Gear field, have the effect on attacks made with the range characteristic template or on the Torrent special rule? No, they don't. So I got caught out by this a little bit, not for this particular thing, but
that does make sense though.
It totally does, right? Shroud, because they ignore cover, right? But Alpha Legion get that 2 inches where you're further away, and I think Exodus has Shroud Bombs, which gives them an additional 6.
Yeah.
So every time you're shooting him, he's 8 inches away than he actually is, and the template's only 8 inches, I think.
But I suppose the thing is because it's the template is the template. It doesn't have a range.
Yeah, agreed.
So you're never adding 2 inches to any distance.
Exactly.
You're just it's different with like blast weapons because they do have a range, but their area of effect is a template.
Yeah. So good to know that one in case anybody argued that one. But Shroud Bombs and Alpha Legion does mean you're a lot further away than you think they are. Any effects which treat models as being further or cumulative. So Alpha Legion also has Shroud Bombs. Yes, they do actually stack. So just a heads up there, as mentioned. So if you've got, let's say you've got Alpha Legion Recon Marines who come with Shroud Bombs, they are effectively 8 inches further away than you think. So charging them is actually quite tricky unless you're sort of right up against them.
Yeah.
So Psyker, Pyromancy is locked in the challenge. Can the blast mod from Pyromantic Dissolution hit models not challenged? Yes, they can. So that's one way around it, I guess.
I think that's because it is a template from on the model. So that makes sense.
Model. This is another one that I've actually got wrong in the past. So apologies to everybody that was on the wrong end of this. If a model replaces a Mastercrafted weapon with another weapon, this isn't necessarily true. It's a different thing. If a model replaces a Mastercraft weapon with another weapon, such as Space Wolf Speaker of the Dead replacing Mastercrafted Power Maul with a Frost weapon, does the replacement weapon also have the Mastercrafted Special Rule? No. And absolutely shouldn't have Space Wolf players. You get too much already.
Enough for you.
Quite enough for your nonsense.
I can thing is that I'm glad that's been cleared up because I can kind of understand why people would assume that you replace the weapon as opposed to the Mastercrafted nature of it.
Yeah. That's it's like the Mastercrafted is a separate. And in fact, they clarify this further on with the Chaplain.
Yeah.
So the Chaplain has power weapon can be Mastercrafted, but the argument was, well, Power Fist and Thunderhammer are also in the same power weapon section.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're Mastercrafted, which hands up, I've totally done in the past with my Chaplain.
Yep, I have.
Thunderhammer and gone, it's Mastercrafted because it's a power weapon. They said, no, get away, Graham. You gamey git. It's only if it's in that kind of power maul, power sword, power lance, whatever the other one is, power axe.
Yep, I've done that exactly as well.
So
scum the pair of you.
I know, right? We really are. We're terrible. We're terrible about it. When a destroyer weapon inflicts D3 wounds instead of a single wound, is that applied after saving throws before damage mitigation? Before damage mitigation rolls. So applied after saving throws. So basically, I shoot you with a destroyer weapon, does D3 wounds. That's applied before damage mitigation rolls. Right, okay, so I get it. So basically, you'd have to, if it was Brutal 2 or something, you'd have to make 6 damage mitigation rolls, I think. Model has war gear or special rules, which specifically changes the effects of Hammer of Wrath, Word Bearer's Ashen Circle. Do these override the restrictions stated in Hammer of Wrath special rule? Yes, they do. Now, I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm not familiar with
either.
Ashen Circle.
Man looks up thing on it.
Man, we'll have to look up.
I have not played with my Ashen Circle in this edition yet. So
Well,
If you did, you're making the face of that guy
back,
from
back to the Sons of Horus
back to
guy.
the Sons of Horus face. Emissary. If anybody's playing with your Ashen Circle, Mr. B.
Where are without wanting to add further fuel to this particular flame?
Schoolboy humor
Whereabouts
is-
are the Ashen Circle? Are they legacies or are they actually in the rule?
No, they're in
they're
the
in
they're in
main-
Liber Hereticus. They're a
main
main
rule book, yeah.
they're a main unit.
Okay. Whew.
They're very
Ashes.
much a main unit.
Mr. B's
Show
Ashen
you,
Circle.
show you my Ashen Circle.
It's a YouTuber, isn't it?
In fact, I think it was another one of those bands that were knocking around with Orlok Powerfist.
You reckon? Yeah, they probably were.
Yeah, Mr.
They
B's
probably-
Ashen
I
Circle.
think they had to change. I think they're now. What's that band that the kids all listen to with the very young children? The
BTS.
no, they do like the really like child baby music. I can't know what it's called. The Woggles,
Oh.
or whatever they're called. I think that's your
The
Ashen
Wiggle,
Circle.
the Wiggle.
The Wiggles, yeah, that's your Ashen
Oh,
Circle.
yeah, that's what they are today. Yeah.
That's what they are.
Mr. B's Ashen Circle. Yeah.
Yeah. When a model with a special rule inflicts hits due to the Hammer of Wrath, a special rule inflicts an additional hit. So a model with Hammer of Wrath 1 would inflict 2 hits, and all hits inflicted due to Hammer of Wrath, a special rule gain a bonus of +1 to their strength, and are counted as flame attacks for those rules that modify such attacks. I've seen that last bit, like loads of different things. I don't think anything affects flame apart from Salamander.
Salamanders, yeah.
Do you want to know something really embarrassing?
I dread to think.
Yes,
I-
because your level of embarrassment, I've got to be honest with you,
This
dear
is
listener,
really high.
Mr. B's embarrassed by it. It's going to be bad.
I have been to a Wiggle concert.
Have you really? Well,
Have you?
Yes, my nephew, when he was very young, Dylan, he had leukemia, and he loved the Wiggles, and one of his wish things that they make them do was to go see a Wiggles concert. I was like, oh,
I don't think that's that
Well,
embarrassing, Mr. B.
no,
I
neither.
think
I
the
think that's-
circumstances fully
Fully justified.
remove any embarrassment there.
And just goes to show what a fine human being you are, Mr. B.
Absolutely.
he just turned 18 on Boxing Day.
So there we go. It's a happy story.
And now he listens to Ashen Circle.
Yeah, Ashen Circle. If a to hit roll is made against a unit's majority weapon skill,
Yep,
or a to wound roll is made against a unit's majority toughness characteristic, then allocated to a model in that unit which cannot be hit or wounded on a score better than the specified number. For example,
Dawn.
Rogue or Dawn cannot be wounded on a score better than 4, or Horus cannot be hit on a score better than 4 by a melee attack. Are any to hit rolls or wound rolls which were not of the required score or better discarded or ignored? No, that's proper Aunt Salliness there, right?
that is.
So basically what you would do is you'd go, okay, I've got Horus Lupercal in this unit. You're attacking me. Majority weapon skill is 4, let's arbitrarily say. And you've got weapon skill 5 in your go. So you're hitting on 3s, whatever. You roll 3s and then go, I'm allocating them all to Horus, who can't be hit on. It has to be, you only hit him on a 4 or more. So anything that's, 3, you would ignore.
Yeah, I don't get that because I've always thought that was the case.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
you
glad
always-
they-
But
Glad
there was going to be people that.
we'll look to that as a
That's
cunning exploit. It is proper Aunt Sally, that one. But yeah, no, you can't is the very sensible outcome of that conversation. So yeah, if you try that trick, unfortunately not. Your unit would still be being hit, or Lupercal would be hitting it on a 3.
Again, I'm sure that's
in the
something that's come
in the
up in a
mishmash.
40k FAQ in the past.
Got you.
It's a
Okay.
stupid game for toddlers, isn't it? So
Yeah, that's what it is, clearly. Okay, so that's all the changes, ultimately, in the core rulebook. You'll be pleased to know, kids. Some interesting things. There's some sensible bits and pieces, I think.
There are.
Okay, let's get cracking, because we've got
Okay.
a few of these to go through.
Hereticus. Okay, so Liber Astartes and Liber Hereticus. There's a few changes here, a lot of clarifications. So things
Why are you happy, Chris?
My-
That worries
this is
me.
where things get
He's going to get interesting.
sexy.
Stuff that's gone unnoticed, like Damocles rhinos are now infantry transport, like standard rhinos. They weren't before. There was a bit of an issue with Deathwing Companion Siphonian pattern Aegises, where basically only the individuals engage with the unit rather than the entire detachment experience a reduction initiative. and unique characters no longer benefit from the Sagya Mazin right of war. And Magician Immortals get breaching charges. Actually, no, wait a minute. Did they not get breaching charges before? I don't know. I was just kind of thinking maybe they got them before. Okay. We've also got
it's add breacher charging to this unit's war gear.
So we've also had the chaplains limited to normal power weapon that is mastercrafted.
Yeah.
But they get rerolls from hatred. So
they do. I mean, but the thing is, mastercrafters all the time, not just for
yeah.
So
characters
hatred's only in the first round.
And this is the bit that Chris loves. Characters with bitter duty are now permitted to join any units and may potentially retinues, which means Moritats scout abilities, Raj Grenade.
Moritats can join any unit they want now. Mother lovers.
That's nonsense, for want of a better PG-13 word. I hate Moritats.
Rad grenades.
But it's the stupid bloody nonsense ones that you get from the Dark Angels or the
Blood Angels with the Melters.
Blood Angels.
Anyway, they can't chain fire and assault, but that doesn't matter because I will now be taking as cheap as I can Moritats just for rad grenades, putting them in my combat units because rad grenades -1 toughness. -1 toughness, and it affects instant death thresholds.
Can't you do that?
Anything strength 6.
But to be fair, your Moritat is probably a little bit more handy for actual killing stuff.
If he needs to be on his own and shoot a load of people, he can do.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's just have a quick look. I think Tech Marine can.
I will.
Tech Marines can take rad grenades. It's just I think
they could. I don't know if they still can.
Okay, general utility. I think the Moritat is probably a little better.
No, they can't take rad grenades, me old mucker.
Oh, they can't. Oh, okay.
Suckers, siege breakers can't either.
So that is going to be interesting. A few of them with
so scout, counterattack, chain fire.
Counterattack's one model, so that's great. That means they all get counterattack. So you only need one model in the unit with counterattack for them all to get counterattack.
I'd say they're going to be leading breachers and assault squads like crazy now.
Assault squads, definitely.
Yeah, I will definitely because I like running Moritats anyway with my Blood Angels, and I would definitely be taking one with my Dawn Breakers because I can just kill things easier.
Even I might invest them for my with my or Reaver assault squads. Give them a jetpack, like you say.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got counterattack already. They haven't got scout though. You can't charge to turn one with a scout move, but even so, it still gets people up in your grill. Got to deal with them.
If you've got a guy,
does scout transfer? Let me just.
I'll have a look.
Scout.
If you want. But if you're running a big unit that's got like heavy chain swords in it, which are +2 strength, for instance, and they pile into a combat that's got an apothecary, those heavy chain swords are causing instant death and making that apothecary completely useless because you're going to be strength 6 and you'll be doubling out your opponent.
Yeah, that's true. Nice. I need a furious charge to make my chain axes super good then. Because that would mean chain axes would be strength 6 chain axes. That's what I need.
But you need, you need 6 weapons, but it's not.
You were the chosen ones. You were meant to oppose the happy endings, not join them.
Charnable weapons. Charnable glaives are +2 strength.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
I think that is such a big change because it just makes them so much more useful because you'd only run them with despoilers before, or they'd be running around being
on their own,
destroyers,
getting nerfed
and just getting whacked off. For a better phrase.
Excuse me.
They were only with
chain fire, baby.
They were only able to destroy going destroyers or
anything that's bitter duty. But they can just roam around. It's only independent character, so don't get excited about things joining destroyers because it doesn't work the other way around.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
destroyers can't join stuff, but just the Morotat. And that is
but stuff can't join destroyers.
Just for clarification, scout,
just the Morotat.
the scout rule, a
Yeah.
unit containing at least one model with a special. So
Yeah.
basically, you just need him in there to make your unit scoutable.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Which I think. I know he's a little bit more expensive than some of the other consoles.
What's he, about
but
90 points?
let me just have a look. So, what a basic Centurion 60 points.
Yeah.
A Molitat on top of that. 90.
You see, what, 35? Because I think that's
He's 45 points, so 105
okay, so
points.
he is quite expensive, yeah.
And
We're gonna
that's
have
just
scouting
that's-
assault squads.
basic equipment.
10 points for rad grenades, okay?
Nope,
It comes with
they're
rad grenades
included.
for free.
They're included. And he can take a Phosphex bomb, can he?
Can't remember.
Used to be able to.
We
Okay.
went back to the things that we used to be able to do.
Things that we used to be able to
Yes.
do, yeah.
Okay, so in addition,
Oh, no.
Thousand Sons characters are now permitted to wield Aeon force weapons.
Like Akia Force weapon.
Akia force weapons. Zardu Laek now can part way with his blade slaves. He has to start with them on the board. Also, he has the option to take a retinue squad now, but they all join and they maintain their connection. So that's good. He becomes a bit more flexible. And Merciless Fighters for the Sons of Horus is now effective even during a disordered charge.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh, and a bayonet cannot be attached to a shrapnel bolter, bane strike bolter, or other types of bolter.
Oh, yeah.
Handle bolter.
Because they were a different gun, aren't they?
Did we just very quickly? Did we say what the chaplain's weapons are limited to now? So
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Normal power weapons. So your power sword,
power sword, power
axe.
axe, power maul, power lance. Just
Where was that thing about the Sons of Horus? Sorry.
Legion of Hereticus.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
FAQd. Sons of Horus are.
Oh, yeah. Merciless Fighters special rule comes when a disorganized charge is made by a unit belonging to either player. Okay, cool. So they still get the -1. So it's, because it's not like Furious Charge, which would get taken away in a disorganized charge. It's just an ability for the first round of combat. Unfortunately, they didn't make our advanced reaction any better than the absolute dog poo that it is right now.
Okay.
Well, a man can dream.
can a model that has upgraded their bolter to have a Legion-specific variant weapon, such as the Armed Warriors model, that has upgraded their bolter to shrapnel bolter, take other war gear options which require that model to have the original weapon, such as a bayonet or a chain bayonet?
Yeah.
We already covered that.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
All right.
Just
It's just
reading it as I go.
clarifying it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm just trying
Mhm.
to find rules for you people.
But it's
Jeez.
all good.
Okay. Liber Imperium then. So this
Oh, this will be quick.
will be quick because it basically says Valdor is rubbish, and
Do you know what? Don't get a single mention, I don't think, this time around.
surely that's for you. That's a blow dog.
No,
because normally you get a proper
normally we get a new rule set. So
a new bus you've got to buy.
It was mostly Sisters of Silence that got dealt with in this
they
one.
were always the troublemakers.
Yeah, so the Night Vestals, that's sort of like the healing sister, isn't it? Sister Apothecary. They've gone from having a 2+ save to a 3+, and they don't deploy as a single unit. They're incorporated to other units from the same detachment, so a bit like a normal sister. But basically, it stops you taking a Night Vestal, putting her with a Custodes unit, and giving them Scout,
Yes.
because that's what people were doing.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Cheeky monkeys.
How?
So they were giving the Night Vessel and getting it to
Vestal.
join a Custodied because she comes with Scout. I need one model with Scout. Boom,
Yeah.
bing, bang, the boom.
Yeah, so they'd have a Sisters detachment and a Custodes detachment, and then they were taking the Vestal and embedding them in the unit. Because the characters could join because they're, best buds.
Yeah.
But
What does it say that?
are they independent characters?
They
not.
were.
Oh, they are,
not.
independent characters. So yeah, they could.
Yes.
In theory.
But now they are embedded into another unit, a bit like a normal apothecary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were the big. I think that there was quite a bit of shenanigans going on with the vessel. So and they have to stay in the same detachment. So yeah, that was a bit annoying.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind
Yeah,
of,
so it's the same detachment they were part of. Is all they can do. Whereas I'm assuming the Sisters of Silence detachment is different to the custodian detachment.
Yeah, because they're independent characters, and they're best buds. They can join the squad.
They could have done okay.
Yeah, and they were giving Custody Scout, which is obviously a bit naughty.
Yeah.
Were they? How?
Because previously it didn't have that ruling, which basically meant
they got Fleet and Stubborn. They didn't have Scout, but they would have given them an Feel No Pain through Narthesium.
Oh, okay.
What was it that people were? That's what I was being told. That's why Scout. That's what I've seen.
Scout.
That's what I've seen happen. How did
they've got?
How did
Fleet,
they do that?
and they've got.
How did they do that? I'm gonna have to Google it now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of the special rules. I know how to Google it now.
No idea.
Vestal. Right. Okay. I'm looking up a bit. How did you get the Scout?
It doesn't
It's
matter.
Just you
Can't
get
do it
free
unless
quite-
it was a.
This is
Sisters of Silence
Chamber.
thing?
Yeah, Chamber of Vigilance.
that could be it. Yeah, Chambers. Yeah, it could be Chamber.
I don't know. Not. Just trying to work it now.
They
do. Yeah, Scout or Infiltrate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
that's what it was. Yes, that's what it was.
It was
Yeah.
the poison.
Oh yeah, I found a bunch of posts on like Alter and Chainsword being like,
yeah, but it's a unit composed entirely of models with this variant of the Sister Silent her special rule may be given one of the following special rules. So people definitely aren't sallying that.
Oh yeah, because she was considered an independent character, so she was a unit in her own. But now, like a normal apothecary, you have to embed her into the.
But she would be joining a unit that wasn't entirely composed of.
Yeah, I don't see why. I suppose the problem is that she can't be moved to another unit outside of a detachment.
She can't now, but I'm saying she could have been.
You could have done previously. She could have done, because you could have joined her for this, and the Scout move only comes into play obviously in the first round of the game.
Yeah.
So now she could still technically, if I've read this right, after the first round, join a Custodians unit, which won't give them Scout.
No, because you can't join a different detachment. And
she's within her.
They're not all one army anymore. Bear in mind.
No, but aren't they best buds? So independent characters can join units from.
Yes, but she has to stay in her detachment.
She doesn't.
Yeah. Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Is it? If it's only for the first round, Chester. Maybe I'm reading that wrong.
May leave the unit and join another unit from the same detachment they were selected as part of.
And Sisters and Custodians are different detachments.
Yeah, I get that. I totally do. So let me just play this out. So you deploy her with one of the Sisters of Silence units for the first turn, right?
Yeah.
Turn 2, as it's an independent character, she can leave that the unit. Turn 3, she could join another unit. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean she has to join the same unit from the same detachment throughout the whole of the game. Just means the first turn she has to be in a detachment
before the first turn begins. Any models,
she has to be deployed, with her detachment to start with. But after that, she's kind of a free agent, I think. Anyway, people who know more about it than us can probably write in and tell us we got that wrong. But my understanding,
we're not Sisters players, so
my understanding is that I think she probably.
I know what you mean, but I think you may be having a conversation with the straw man.
With the straw
the straw man.
Having a little rub down with the sporting life and a massage parlor. Okay.
So what do they do? They've slightly modified the anathema subtype. So non-AFAMI units can't take their leadership. So basically Sisters of Silence reduced the they reduce the leadership of the units they join. So not a big deal, but just a slight change. And then just a few corrections, like Cyber Caimans can't have Execution Blade, and Subjugators have Anathema, and they're now light. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What is this about Lehman Russets here?
Oh, they've just sort of clarified the turret choices. So,
Oh yeah, they get stuff for free, don't they? Liber Mechanicum ones doesn't seem to be, the link doesn't seem to be working, Mr. B.
oh,
I'm assuming my internet's okay because I'm still talking to you.
yeah, just a second. I will grab it. Sorry.
Let's swiftly move on to Legacy as well. Let's go, because that's got the meat and potatoes for me anyway.
I've just put a link into the chat if you want.
Okay.
Mechanicum. Yeah, got it now. It's changed. I've just changed it in the document. But
Okay.
this one's an interesting one.
This was the one that I got in trouble for, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes. You did. You
Apologies
did.
to everybody concerned.
Okay. Right. Yes. Yes. If Graham's going to do something, he's going to put it with context or blur the names. So it doesn't look like.
Hence the training course at GCHQ for the last one.
Consider me admonished. Okay.
But yeah, no offense was meant to anybody. We know that person wasn't. It was just bad editing. Yeah, Liber Mechanicum.
It's good to know you got my back, Mr. B.
No, I do. It was just bad editing.
I think I just saw the number 700 bus go past. So do you want to push him or do you want to trip him?
Yeah, just it's fine.
No, look, people make mistakes. It happens. It's no big deal. No intention. You know.
We can take it, and it's just one less vote for us to be Warhammer heroes. And
yeah, I mean, I don't mind. If you two guys want to go ahead and into the sunlit uplands of Warhammer hero-ness, and the black mark against my name will very besmirch any future.
It's an all or nothing situation.
Yeah. Anyway,
I've done far
apologies
worse in my time.
all round.
So Mechanicum has only got 2 changes. Blimey.
Yeah. Well,
well,
you can't polish a turd, as they say.
The problem is that here's the crack, as far as I'm concerned, right? They shoved in Armiger as a new unit type without thinking, wait, how does this interact with the other rules? And they tried to fix it, but
they did fix it in the end. Basically, what they were saying is that previously Armigers, were not affected by Armor Bane, Haywire, etc., because it was obviously an oversight. And now they just changed it to say, actually, no, they totally are. So Haywire, etc., look, affects them as if they were Dreadnought.
If you want my 2 cents on this, as it were, my 2 pence, I would have said just change them to ruddy Dreadnoughts.
They have, effectively.
Well, yeah, effectively they have, but it should have just been in the first place. It should have just said
Dreadnought. Well, no, because I think Dreadnoughts are fearless and Armigers aren't.
Yeah, well, that's fine. They're stubborn, but you can have fearless instead of stubborn. It's
what
fine.
Is weird about Armigers is that they're actually more expensive than Dreadnoughts and worse, particularly the Moriaks, which again is one of those other things that they really stuck the boot in on them when they did these rules. Paragon unit subtype make reactions? No, because Automata can't make reactions unless they've been given a special hoof. And then there was the other one, so that was it really, just 2 changes. So either they got these rules very right or they're just bad anyway. Okay,
to be fair, they're probably just bad. They need a whole new book, to be honest.
I mean, the thing is, there aren't that huge number of super effective units in Mechanicum anymore, and so you would just end up seeing everybody using what they're called. Oh God, I forgot what the unit is.
Myrmidons,
all over the place.
And
it's a bit of a shame really, because they used to have at least a bit of flavour, as Chris would say. Now they're kind of fairly, you need to use those particular units. Okay, let's go on to the Legacies unit, and what's got a hoofed here.
Legion is a starting
Legacy, yeah. So this is controversy reigns on this one. Yeah.
So attack bikes get a second wound and attack, which was well needed. They needed that.
Duelist edge on Garrow's blade.
Makes sense.
Which is sensible. Challenging its +1 initiative, making him actually pretty useful again, which is good. I mean, he's actually better in this edition than he was in the last edition.
Duelist edge is +1 to initiative?
Yeah, I think in a challenge.
Yes, it is, yeah. Should know all the bloody Emperor's Children guys have got it coming out of there.
Yeah, coming out of the wazoo. Okay, what else did we... nothing else changed, did it? That was it.
That was it, just that change. That was the whole thing.
That was it. So
Tarantula's got different.
able to retreat and execute the interceptor advanced reaction. Makes sense.
So the nullificators have got the nullificators just added in. Yeah. Because they're pink on the contents, but then I'm guessing they were just chucked in at last.
Okay. What else have we had? There's a lot of changes in this actually.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of them are just rebalancing points, and for a lot of the characters, like this character counts as this particular type, chaplain, or this up for rights of war. This is a siege breaker, so a lot of those are that. What have we got here? Yeah,
points reductions. Terminator Indomitus squads are only line if they're used as part of the Legion, aren't they?
Right, I've got the old Legacies document open, so if we want to compare notes or anything,
let me know. Tarantulas got interesting, I think.
Tarantulas are
well, they changed a bit.
They got cheaper.
16. Yeah, they got a bit cheaper. They get fearless, and they can only make the interceptor reaction.
20 points cheaper. Saving.
It's a big drop, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, 60 points for. Actually, 60 points for 3 of them, wasn't it? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with the.
all those tarantulas.
Heavy
bolts. That's a horde of them that I've been keeping all these years.
3 of them, I think.
And they're fearless as well.
I've got 9 tarantulas kicking around somewhere. I know that.
I quite like the tarantula. So nice.
Three tarantula sentry guns for 40 points is not bad. I mean, they are ballistic skill 2, so don't get too.
That is, but that's 6 heavy bolters.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to hit with 3 of them. One assumes.
Thunderbolts, lightnings, land raider, Achilles.
Very, very frightening.
They got points reductions.
Let's have a quick look at that. Thunderbolts and lightnings, very, very frightening.
No, I've done the joke already.
Avenger Strike Fighter, 150 points. What was it previously?
Avenger Strike Fighter. It hasn't got quick links in it because that's always helpful.
What was the Avenger?
Yeah, it's annoying. They haven't put links in the ruddy.
Avenger Strike Fighter is 20 points cheaper than it was before, and it now has a heavy stubber.
That'll help. Thunderbolt Fighter?
It did have a heavy stubber. Now I've given you the weapon profile for it.
Okay, gotcha. Thunderbolt Fighter, what's that rocking at?
It was 170, is now 150.
Yeah. See, that's a much better vehicle actually all round, isn't it? The Thunderbolt to the Avenger.
Thunderbolt, anyway. The Thunderbolt's always been the better.
The Cerastus got good. Big changes there. It used to have.
How much? Sorry, just before the Achilles, you say, has gone down. I always thought it was 300 points. How many points is it on the previous?
More.
305. It's below the Land Raider Phobos.
Yeah, hang on.
Page 23.
Pages are added in. It was 320 points.
Okay. They really didn't like it, did they? So that's gone down by 20 points. It's 300 points to what it was in edition 1. But it hasn't even got the good. Used to have, you could give it the shatter shells.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't do that anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. No, it's just got the Gravis Melter and the Volkite, hasn't it?
Yeah, right. The Cerastus Assault Ram. This got big changes. So transport capacity's gone up by 6. So, you can now get 8 Terminators in there. It's lost the Siege Melter Array that it shared with a Mastodon, and it's now got a Magna Melter Cannon from the Predators, which is better, I think. And it's no longer an assault vehicle, but it gets a new piece of equipment called the Misericord. Not the Misericorder.
It had before, didn't it? Pretty sure that was the rule that it had before.
Similar. Well, basically, it's just before it was an assault vehicle, and it was an assault vehicle before that. Before, in the last edition, it basically said its special things, the straps, allowed a Terminator to count as one model.
That's right, yeah.
And it had a transport capacity of 12.
Oh,
or something. So basically, you could take in a full 10-man squad of Terminators and a captain.
Right.
Now
you can take 8 Yeah.
you can take 8. So you can take 5 men of 5 Terminators, a captain, and an apothecary or something, or a chaplain.
Yeah.
And basically, if a unit is made up entirely of models with Terminator armor, and that includes Indomitus, Tartarus, Cataphracti, and any Legion specific, or a model with the Primarch unit type, they can charge the same turn as they've disembarked from a model with this special rule.
I mean, a Primarch is what, bulky 4?
Yeah.
So that's half your. That's a.
Yeah. I mean, also bear in mind you still can't charge from
4, so that's 12. So yes, you can take 5 Terminators and a Primarch, basically.
Can you charge? You can't charge from reserve, can you?
No, I don't think you can. But this is now basically an assault vehicle, but only for Terminators.
I think whether if you can deep strike it, they can assault out of it, can't they? 'Cause it's got a hover. Yeah, maybe I'm getting that wrong. I don't know if you can charge from reserve or not. I might have to double check that.
Because there's that whole. I can't.
Yeah. Because that was always the problem.
So only do it by deep
not,
strike. So
yeah, exactly. Anything you pull out of it's going to only can't charge until turn 3.
Yeah,
because it's got to come on turn 2, and then you're going to move it, and by that point it's going to be in bits. It's going to be intercepted and then shot at before it's even done with them. So it's going to take some dodging.
Yeah, 13, 13, 11.
I mean, for a flyer, it's not bad, but even so, 10-man las cannon squad with an Aurus cannon, and it's Night Sailor.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not. Yeah, I mean, it's like any flyer in this edition.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to do well because you as soon as because of the proliferation of 10-man las cannon squads.
Yep.
Because that's what you need in this game. It's going to suffer. But it's still a great model. It's still really good. It's a beautiful looking model.
I've never liked it, to it's never really done anything for me.
I like
it. But I know,
it's
horses for courses.
I've got one of my Death Guard and one of my Ultramarines.
Yeah.
Love them. Okay, so that is great. Okay, so what have we got? Large tanks. That's your that's basically your Baneblade type stuff.
Minotaur battery?
Stuff like
Gone
that.
250 points now. What was it before? 300.
280.
Okay, and it's got 5 points now as well.
But here's the thing: I don't think any of them are worth taking anymore. I just still don't think any of them are worth taking.
No, I kind of tend to agree.
No, the Malkador sort of got a pseudo power of the machine spirit thing, so it's a bit more capable.
Yeah.
It seems a bit better now, but it still seems a bit expensive for what it is. 245 points, and you get this sort of pseudo power of the machine spirit there. So it makes it a bit more tempting, but still. The Baneblades sort of things, they've got their point reductions, but they're still very high. But
6. What were they previously? What was the Stormblade previously, Chris?
Stormblade.
So they've all gone down to 650, haven't they?
Yeah, it's not enough to make it worth it.
Basically, they've had 100 points trimmed off them.
Yeah, right. I still don't think it's enough. I think another 100.
Considering they were what, 450?
Yeah, they're still
edition?
mega bucks, aren't they?
Yeah,
and the weapons are worse.
The Macarius Omega, though, it's a shame you can't get this model anymore. 450 points for that Omega pattern plasma blast gun. That's not bad. I don't think that's bad at all. What was it? How much was it before? I can't remember how much it was before.
600 points. The Macarius
I remember looking at that and then looking at the new points, and I was like, if I could buy a Macarius Omega, I would absolutely buy one, and I put that in.
450 points though.
It's a lot better now, especially Ordnance 1, Massive Blast 7, Breaching 4+. The only disadvantage is gets hot, and that's Strength 9, AP 3.
I mean, but the thing is, like the bolt cannon, right? The Macarius rotary bolt cannon, which used to be 36 shots. I think if you stood still, it fired twice.
Yeah.
Strength, and it used to be Strength 6. It used to be AP 3. But now it's AP 4, Heavy 10, Breaching 6+ with pinning and twin link. So it's a shame, really. It was a good tank, that one. But yeah, 400 points still seems. I think that's closer to what it should be. what's that plasma blast cannon? Here's the thing, right? The rotary bolt cannon is worse than the cannon that you get on the Punisher.
Yeah.
And that's 200 points less.
Yeah. Anyway, what else have we got? Yeah, it's just a lot of the region specific units. They've just mostly got point adjustments and putting those characters like siege breakers and chaplains for rights of war. There's not much beyond that. It's just mostly points. But Rylanor gets a big price drop, and his weapon skill goes to 6.
And you
already know how much I like Rylanor.
The Firewing got a discount as well, didn't they? The world's most pointless unit came slightly pointless.
As I said, a lot of this was literally points drops, and just rectifying stuff. Exos Dios got twin linked heavy bolters.
Yeah, because everyone's going to rock around to doing that thing. But selecting passive specifies conditions for any limitation of a right of war that requires attachment or army to contain a model with the Legion Siegebreaker Consularis upgrade.
Yeah, that was a lot of what this is. A lot of that is a lot of the characters. Anyway, right, Fulmentaris. Let's do it. This is the most noteworthy one in the entire.
This was
right.
Okay, let me just. Where are they in the old?
They haven't changed points.
Fundamental 65. 65. What are we on there? Fundamentaris. Okay, so do we want to compare old and new?
Let's do that, right? So previously they had I think they all had the Patriarch, whatever his targeter. Now you have to, and they all came with power fists.
They came with power weapons.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I beg your pardon. Power weapons, right? Okay. But yeah, and they came with the targeter. Now, the targeter you have to pay for and swap it out for the weapon. The
targeter is free.
Yeah.
You can't.
But you cannot have both
and
power weapon.
And the targeter,
which makes every model that you have mean they can't have the targeter because you've probably modeled it with power fists or power weapons, right? So that sucks. And then we get into the real meat and potatoes of absolutely spannering this unit. So previously, what were the missiles? So the Fulmentaris missile array.
36 inches for splinter missiles, strength 5, AP 5, heavy 4, breaching 6+, pinning.
Right, do you want to know what it is now?
Strength 4, AP 5, heavy 4, pinning.
No breaching. Okay.
That's kick in the left
bad.
Testicle.
Well, and then for the kick in the left testicle was the Patriarch. Yeah. The kick in the right testicle is the splinter missile, and the kick right on the
gubbins
on the John Thomas is the Hellfire plasma missile. So what were they?
24 inches.
Magic.
Strength 8.
Magic.
AP 2.
Marvelous.
Heavy 1.
Brilliant.
Brutal 2.
Oh, absolutely.
They are
joyful.
now 36 inches. Strength 7. AP 4. Heavy 1. Breaching 4+.
That does bring them in line with every other plasma weapon in the game, though.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I absolutely love my Ultramarines, and I think the Fulmentaris are one of the most cool units in the game. But they needed this nerf. They were too powerful.
Get out.
No, they were. Every Alpha Legion player took.
I'm not lying. But that's Alpha Legion.
Ultramarine players have built their entire lists around them.
Quite rightly so.
They were too powerful.
Yeah. You may be talking to a gentleman that has done exactly that, Mr. Bill.
No, I think they did the right thing.
I think it would have been better to change the point value than to nerf them so terribly. And the reason is,
I think they should have kept their power weapon.
I think they should have, because the problem is we're talking about a game dominated by Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And this was one unit that Dreadnoughts feared, right? Yeah. Strength 8, AP 2, Brutal 2. You get a face full of them, your Dreadnought is done. It was one of the few units that I feel in this game could almost guarantee to kill a Dreadnought in a round of shooting. Even a 10-man Lascannon squad, 50-50, right? It's got 6 wounds. So I feel that is just makes dreadnoughts more powerful. But you're right. There's a great sort of great kind of meme. You know, this scene in the Lord of the Rings where Bilbo kind of drops the ring on the floor for Frodo to pick up. You know, it's like, you know, that sort of begrudging dropping of something precious. It's like all Alpha Legion players just had Bilbo dropping like a handful of Formentara's figures.
I was more thinking, what's his name, the kid from Toy Story, and dropping them. I don't want to play with you anymore. Or
But yeah, I think they got a nerf too. I mean, they'll just. You're right, Mr. B. They were super powerful, but I think given all the powerful things in the game and the thing that's hardest thing to stop, which is dreadnoughts, there's nothing to compare them. There's no, as far as I'm aware, there are very few volume brutal 2 weapons. That's strength 8, certainly. Now, I mean, dreadnoughts would just laugh at them. So the target has also changed. So at the start of any controlling player's turn before models are moved, if you activate your targeter, the model may not move, but gains the night vision special rule, and their shooting attacks gain the twin link special rule. So they don't even have the barrage special rule.
They don't have guided fire.
Guided fire, yeah.
But they do get twin linked, which they didn't have before.
Yeah, but I mean, a one-shot plasma gun, basically, at 36 inches. That's what that is. Does not seem like a good exchange, to be fair. But
it isn't the best, but
I'm furious. I'm absolutely furious by that. But that was going to happen, right? Because I mean, I do notice that the Star Killers,
they can take reactions
Sun Killers
now.
They could previously, I think.
No, they could only take Interceptor or Overwatch.
Oh, they could.
Yeah, but now they can. Yeah. They've got more options to take other reactions.
They're going to return fire with what? You see what I mean? If you shoot them with a las cannon, they're going to shoot you back, and there's a 50-50 chance that you're not going to get any real repercussions from that. So yeah, I do get the point. They were super powerful. Don't get me wrong, although I'm being somewhat devil's advocate here because I've got 10 of them.
I have seen a lot of people trying to sell them.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I'm just going to snip the missile launchers up the top and just use them as normal Terminators now because it's not worth.
It's like 40k when Zinch Flamers came out and they were like incredibly powerful back in the day. You know, they would take on warhounds, burn warhounds to the ground.
We just that, didn't we?
We did exactly that. And then they went, oh no, maybe
that was a bit strong.
That was a bit much.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, but I do notice that Sun Killers haven't had a points change. Just saying. I mean, it's not like, you know, Andy's got an Emperor's Children's army or anything. So yes, if they'd done that, I would have been less aggrieved by this change. To be fair,
feeling hard done by.
Somewhat, but again, like Mr. B does quite sensibly say, they were one of the most powerful units in the game by a country mile, because you know they could, if you charge them with your own Terminators, they're going to intercept you with those Strength 8 AP2 weapons. You fail to save your Terminators are dead.
Mm-hmm.
And they're brutal too as well, to make matters even more depressing.
I think the problem they've got is that they're Hellfire plasma missiles, and
they were super good. But it's all gone
for plasma being strict 784 these days and
breaching 4+. Yeah, I totally agree, but I think it's such a big nerf that you feel somewhat aggrieved by it, because it's just a longer range plasma gun, which it's not even as good as a plasma gun because it's not got rapid fire at 12 inches or whatever. So, yeah.
Okay.
Alas for the Fulmentaris.
Alas and alack. Another model.
Another
army.
The collection of
shot.
I'm not going to use.
Moving on to the Solar Auxilia.
Hold on.
Just very quickly. Has Garland Serlak been nerfed in any way whatsoever? Just out of interest. Just for old times. I bet he hasn't.
for old gloating.
I bet he's cheaper and does more horrible things. Oh no, it's just that right of war thing.
The other, like the really cool chaplain that the Salamanders had, Nomus Ratan, where he used to have a Strength 6 AP2 initiative hammer, is now Strength 6 AP2 two-handed unwieldy hammer, which it was previously. So it's just like a thunder hammer, but worse. Utterly pointless. But yeah. Anyway, he does actually count as a chaplain now, so you can use him in Rites of War. They have chaplain, which I think you mentioned as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rylanor.
All right. Solar Auxiliate. Rylanor, yeah, he got an upgrade. Okay.
Find that chat.
Solar Auxilia. Basically, not much here. They did the point reductions on the Bane Blades, so taking them down from being horribly overpriced and ineffective to now being suboptimal.
Moderately overpriced.
Suboptimal, I think, would be the best way to put it. There's no compelling reason to take them. The adjustments just mean that taking them just means you're not automatically putting a hand behind your back. And the Praetor became a bit more cost effective, and the explosions are a bit better. That's really
Okay.
all there is
Yeah,
to
that was
say
pretty
about.
terrible, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Praetor's gotten slightly better. And then finally, Imperial Militia got the smallest upgrade of all. Basically, for a couple of provenances, when you upgrade your recon squads to Void jumpers, they've now got 2 pistols.
Magnificent. Okay. Well, there we go. So winners and losers. Obviously, Fulmentara's got a proper kick in. Everything else, the FAQ does settle some arguments, which is good. So perhaps some less
Moritats
answering.
win the FAQ game this time round.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the winners.
The only thing that's
Fulmentara's
the only-
biggest losers, biggest
Yeah,
winners.
absolutely.
The only
Moritat.
thing there for the ruddy Moritat now is though that is at some point they're going to rewrite the rule again, because in the last edition, how many different versions of the Moritats did we have?
The problem you've got is that you've got a Blood Angels character that was a Moritat that couldn't really join anybody, so that he was sort of designed to go with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the reason why they did it, but I can't think what his bloody name is now.
It's just Dominion Zephon.
No, there was another guy who I can't see him on the list. Can't think what his name was. Doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if
Zephon.
we got.
Actually, I don't know if Zephon's actually in.
He's in the normal book.
So I'd expect to see people who can take melter pistols going gung ho. Also, iron
There's no
hands,
thing is though,
graviton pistols.
There's no. Yes, you could do that, but the problem is you can't chain fire and assault. So
Nope.
You can do it so that he can jump out of a unit and then they assault, but then you're not getting the benefit of the rad grenades. I would just run him as cheap as possible in an assault unit just to get
for
those
the rad grenades.
just that rad grenades, yeah.
See, I don't know.
Anything that can improve your instant death possibilities.
And
the melter
wound.
pistol, even with just one shot each, is still pretty.
The chain fire melter gun it will destroy
even
a
without chain fire.
It's
but
still
the
disintegrator.
To be fair,
But the disintegrator pistol is no different. Yes, instant death as well. So
yeah,
just hitting or just wounding on us. Actually, no, wounding on a 3+.
I'm expecting to see a lot more Moritats.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot less Fulmentalis.
Moritats seem to be one of those units that Games Workshop are like, right, we love Moritats, we're going to make them awesome again, and they're like, no, we don't really like the Moritats anymore. We're going to nerf the rules, and it's like,
I think they probably do the rules and then they get them out in the wild, and people use massive exploits to make them.
I'm just about to say something that's really, really nasty and really, really mean. In theory, a Moritat could join a squad of Custodes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because he's an independent character.
Yes.
And Custodes and...
There's nothing there, nothing that... But
Astartes.
I thought they had nothing that was, Sworn Brothers, because of the fact that they don't get on with anybody.
Maybe. Let's have a look.
No, that's the whole point now. That's the whole point. They can join anybody.
Yeah.
No. But I think in the allies table, the Custodes aren't chummy with anybody. They kind of set themselves.
Agents of the Emperor, aren't they?
Good question. Good question.
They're not actually on the chart. They're counters.
I think they are agents of the Emperor.
Must have been Liber Imperium then, one assumes.
Various Agents of the Emperor sub-factions each represent a separate army list. These include the Legion Custodies, Sisters of the Silence army list, several factions represented by several different factions. Okay, so where the hell does Agents?
Oh, there's the Allies table is. So if you look, what is it called? What are they? Sorry.
Agents of the Emperor. Some units are described as Agents of the Emperor. Agents of the War Master. These are always treated as sworn brothers to either all loyalist or all traitor forces.
Okay, well, there you go.
So I may be taking a Blood Angels detachment on Sunday.
Tomorrow, I mean, you could have done the same thing with a Mechanicum. Mechanicum Magos can take rad grenades. He says, once again, going back to version 1 and then going, yeah, that's definitely the case, and then realising I'm probably talking out the backside.
I just think, Moritats for the win.
Okay, let's see how you get on. Obviously,
I don't
there is going to be the tricky thing.
Moritats, he's not a compulsory HQ, so I can't do that.
You can't do it as an ally.
Yeah.
Attachment. Oh, the dream was there just for a moment.
On the
unless you make the Custodies the allies.
Aren't they a separate detachment? The Custodians, are they a separate kind of Crusade Force organisation thing?
What do you mean?
They're a separate detachment.
They'd be a separate detachment, yeah. They would be the primary detachment, and then.
Do you see what I mean? Can you take? Because yes,
you can now take as many detachments as you want.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you take?
You have to have two HQs.
Primary detachments.
You'd have to have 2 HQs and 2 troops.
Yeah, it's not cost effective at that point, really.
No,
I'm just thinking of running just 100-point tactical squad and 100 and something point.
Just trying to think if is there any reason why you would want to run more than just the bare minimum of blood?
Yeah, you could do it the other way around.
Maybe for relatively cheap tactical squads to score your objectives.
You could do it Blood Angels as the primary, or any Legion as the primary, Custodians as the second, as the allied detachment.
Yeah.
Pop Mr. Moritat off into a golden honeycomb of death, and just watch as they have a whale of a time.
Fantastic. Okay, we look forward to that, seeing how you get on. Mind you, most of your stuff's strength 5 anyway, isn't it? So
yeah, but when they use their spears, they're strength 6.
Yeah. Instant death. Well, you got to get there first. Right, let's call it a night there then, gentlemen.
Shall we?
Yeah. Okay, well that's the show. It's great. There's no that's basically it, isn't it? It's a good show. I think it was a good show. Do you think it was a good show? Please tell us it was a good show, please. So anyway, if you want to support the show, then we have links on our website, affiliate links for Element Games, who are fantastic. You get your wargaming stuff, 15% off, 20% off on the week of release. You've got the our affiliate link with the Outpost, another local friendly local gaming store up in Sheffield. We have Audible affiliate links, which is great. You can get all your audiobooks in there. Ending the Death part 3 just came out. I got mine. It's great. You should get yours. What else? Do we have any other affiliate links? Yeah, you can do Patreon. That'd be great. You know what we're going to do this year? We're going to start naming our Patreons. I'm going to do a credits thing. I'm going to put thank you to our Patreons. See if I can do it this week. If I can't, I'll get it for the next one. And of course, we have Ko-Fi if you just want a one-off payment. But no, it's been great. Hopefully this year is going to be a better show. If you're doing with Elements, we've got our Crystal Codes down there and all those usual things. Like that smash button. Tell us you like us. Leave nice reviews, please, 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 please. And just in general, you know what? Keep rolling your dice. Have fun. And I guess this is where Chris would say love and snuggles. Bye-bye.